Humpty Doxxit sat on the wall. Humpty Doxxit had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Doxxit back together again.
This is part 3 of the docuseries of The Boy Who Cried Doxx. Uni-doxx himself.
God, it's so weird. Nonsense is just a very disgusting human being. Like, have you guys seen her raging out and like flipping out and shit and just going fucking psycho and shit? He's gross, y'all. Wow. Nonsense is logic. Well, Uni is now debunking us, so I'm just gonna threaten to dox him. I'm not even joking. She did a YouTube short. I'm going to release Uni's criminal record because like he made me mad. So you're admitting that you're digging on me to get like all kinds of information about me. Why? Because you're mad at me on YouTube? Yeah, that's doxing. Oh, you can't call that doxing, Uni. Yup, when you take that fucking information that you are getting, that you're obtaining due to the fact that you're mad at me, and then you threaten to release it because you're pissed, that is doxing. And I know that all of them will say it's not, but yes, it is. You see, when you actually think about what's going on, I didn't lie the whole fucking time. Y'all just wanted to cancel me, and now you're gonna find out that it's not as easy as you thought it was.
This all falls under the fair use guidelines. This is based on my opinion and my opinion only, for educational and entertainment purposes. Please do not send hate to anybody that we discuss in this video. Again, this is based on my opinion of the content he has put out here publicly. This is part 3 of the docuseries, A Missing Plot About a Doxx, starring the one and only Uni-doxx. And one last thing, don't forget, buckle up and keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times. It's about to get bumpy.
Hey y'all, we're going live to continue from a couple days ago where we were live and I lost power. Though I was being really stupid.
As we all saw in part 2, yes, he was acting very stupid and immature. That was from his YouTube video on April 21st. Today we are picking up on April 23rd, the next time that he had spoken about the PayPal situation with JLR and BHB. Let's get into it.
I wanted to go live so bad that I didn't care that there were lightning storms and stuff. I need to fix my lighting and filters because it looks horrible, but I don't care. We'll do it next stream because I want to stream with you. But it's Sunday, and I've been busy all day, and I just want to roll in. Now, let's get you caught up on exactly what happened. Let's go over here to the newsroom, to the really bad looking newsroom. If it didn't look so cheesy, it wouldn't be passable. It's the only reason it's passable. Breaking news. No, actually, turn it off. It's not breaking news because we've known that these YouTubers do this for a while. I'm having a hard time processing this. I got Navy with me. I'm having a hard time processing the fact that these two YouTubers believe that they should be able to stalk people's families because they don't like what we are saying about them. And that's their side. If you've heard what Betty had to say, that's their side, Navy.
There will be a short refresher coming up of what Betty actually did say. But we're going to let him ramble on a little bit and give you some background before we get to the actual facts of what was actually said. And again, I'm not a fan of BHB, but facts are important, and Uni likes to rearrange history.
They want to be able to go after your family if they don't like what you say about them. Now, here's the deal. When they go after your family, they're going to pretend like, oh no, we had normal reasons to do this. So very quickly, before Navy comes in,
Also, if you have questions as we're watching this, because once again, it's a premiere and I'm watching it with you, please feel free to ask away. This live was originally over 3 hours long, so of course I cut it down to be just the necessary pieces to give context to what is going on. Anybody else with me that they absolutely hate the word dox at this point in time? Yeah, I can't stand hearing it anymore. Don't worry, Uni-doxx will explain the term doxing over and over and over again incorrectly.
The doxing, Betty, was when you and a felon ID thief, a man that has stolen IDs in the past and gone to prison for very long periods of time for doing these things, you sit down with him and give him and look and stalk through people's IDs. Now, if you wanted to make an argument that I'm a public figure and you can somehow, it's okay for you to look at look up things about me, that could be an argument that you can't make because you stalked my family.
So, in other words, he's not going to explain how it was actually doxing because it's not.
Every one of those people are not public figures. They've never been public figures. Some of them are just the complete and total, utter opposite of public figures. So,
what about the one with the button? I need to know more about that button.
So, you know what you did. You did it because the doxing was when you and JLR, when you got mad while you were watching my videos where I completely exposed you to for being the kind of just disgusting, degenerate people that you are and the way that you treat people in tragedies, the way that you try to monetize these tragedies. I'm really very, very, I don't know what word to use, proud or just happy or whatever with people like Forgotten Whispers, The Jane Show, Evil Ducky, just all these people.
And that sentence right there was a perfect example of circle talk. He starts out going to explain how it was doxing. Mid-sentence switches it up to a completely different topic, so his audience is pulled to a completely different situation. You know, he's thankful for these channels and these clip channels, but never really articulates why it was doxing. But then later on in the video, he'll claim that he already explained what doxing or why it was doxing. That is the art of circle talk, and that's the intention behind it, is to create confusion.
People that have gone out and started to upload videos showing what JLR is, knowing that JLR is this kind of creeper. And he's not Betty, this is like you choking somebody now, right now on video.
And of course, that comparison doesn't even make sense.
You know, because JLR can't, he's been put into prison for stalking people, stalking their identities, and then wielding those identities to commit crimes to steal money from those people. And you just went and did this with him. You know it's wrong. You know I shouldn't have to say it. And
so he explains some about JLR's past, and then he accuses Betty of doing things with JLR that are similar to what JLR has done in the past. Even though what kicked all of this off was JLR supposedly, allegedly, again, we don't know who was behind the PayPal because we've never seen him. We've never seen anything on these PayPals. But Uni claims that JLR sent him $1 PayPal with some information in the messaging section. We don't know what was actually contained in that. Again, nobody has ever seen these PayPals. We don't know if it was actually from JLR.
it's just, if you want to be that, that's fine, but you should at least own it.
It is, in my opinion, that the intent behind the PayPals was an intimidation tactic.
Again, I'd love YouTube to actually allow me to have a single stream ever that isn't completely yellow signed from the start. Let's check it real fast. You know I have to do this. Yellow. It's going to be yellow. It's going to be. Oh! Navy. We have to be on our best behavior. It's not. I can't believe it.
Just another typical true uni cringe moment.
They've been lying about what they did when they donated to my PayPal. Because, again, they targeted regular citizens. They doxed and stalked regular citizens and then tried to take details of those citizens' lives and send them to me in my PayPal, trying to get me nervous about them going after my family. But here's the deal. They don't know who they're dealing with, right? You think I'm goofy. You think I'm crazy. You think I'm weird. You think any of the things you think about me, you have no clue what would happen if you actually did go after any member that you targeted in that in those messages, those PayPal messages to me.
And once again, Uni likes to peacock, so he has been claiming that he's unbothered. You don't want to mess with those people. Doxers typically stop because of family members he's related to, you know, yada, 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 yada. The same peacocking he does every video.
But we're going to handle that. In fact, we're going to have some really good news for Betty and JLR here in a few weeks, but can't talk about that.
So remember, this was April 21st. Yes, previous to the letter debacle. And he claims that they were going to have some exciting news in a couple weeks for BHB and JLR. However, we now know that he didn't even see his attorney within those 2 weeks. So exactly what he's referring to that he couldn't talk about, your guess is as good as mine. Does he even have an attorney? Nobody knows either.
What I can talk about is what Betty said. Now, Betty is extremely butthurt in this clip.
Now, again, I'm not a fan of BHB, as y'all know, but she was not butthurt. She was absolutely giddy. She was loving all of this, and she was laughing. She was not triggered at all, unfortunately.
Now, she gets even more butthurt after the clip because I heard what she said here, and we're going to be, there's a lot of like really cringy material because Betty thinks that I have 7,000 subscribers. She thinks, well, at least that's what she says to her audience, right? She tries to say she doesn't want to give me a shout out. Betty, why would you not mention a YouTuber that's got way more subs than you do?
As we saw in the end of part 2, he is very bothered by the fact of them calling him a smaller YouTuber or not giving him credit for his bigger channels. That really bothers him. So, of course, Betty easily was able to pick out things that would trigger him, and it worked. Unfortunately, he walked right into this. And the sad thing is, they do enough horrible stuff on their own. You don't have to give them more ammunition, and he does it time and time again. If you need channel recommendations for factual content on BHB and JLR, ask below. We'll give you a bunch.
It's really weird that you would I don't want to give him a shout out. I don't need your shout out. I'm doing better than you. I'm bigger than you on this platform, much bigger. I've got way more influence. I've got way more relevancy. I've got way more of an eye.
You can tell that he is definitely bothered by the mention of him being a smaller YouTuber because he does a lot of peacocking here. He's got more influence. He's got more relevancy. How's that working out for you these days there, Uni? And it's my opinion that he tried to use other channels' credibility that they had built, yes, even those of us that are smaller channels, to push off a narrative. But when he was questioned on where's the proof, where's the facts, he wasn't expecting that because he thought he had so much influence on this platform. So when he was questioned, we've watched the fallout from that.
Now, here's the thing. For a couple reasons, they have shown me what I need to know. They've shown me that they aren't like what she did when she went after Nonsense.
And, well, there's a perfect example of that.
She tried to do the same thing to Nonsense in a way. She didn't go grab a bunch of Nonsense's family members' names, but she did try by naming her mother's old address. And
the two situations are not even comparable.
Going a step further, this is a tactic. If it was one time or if it was a mess up, it'd be a lot different than someone who intentionally does this a lot.
They absolutely use intimidation tactics a lot. They do that. And that's the purpose of the phone calls and the PayPals and things of that nature. But my situation and Uni's situation are two completely different situations. I played the voicemail publicly. I released that. Never have I ever claimed that it was doxing. But again, he's using the fact that I showed all the proof publicly to try and give his own storyline credibility.
So we're going to hear out of the horse's mouth, out of the tragedy, out of the local's mouth, there we go. We're going to hear her make excuses for what she did. And though at the same time, if you recall the great video that I keep playing where Betty is talking about, what's that guy's name? Duty Ron. And I'm saying the T really hard on purpose. Duty Ron, and she flips out at the end of it, and she's trying to say, they make my life hell and all this stuff, but ends up telling her audience to go make Duty Ron and Queen Bee's life hell. It's the same kind of thing happens here. And
again, if you missed it, in part 2, Uni himself claims that threatening Duty Ron, there was nothing wrong with that. Sending Duty Ron a cease and desist, that's the way you should actually handle stuff. Yeah. He actually said that previously. But now it's a problem that similar things were happening to him. And now it's doxing and all of these illegal things. But what happened to Duty Ron was totally fine. Again, trying to use credibility off of other situations that played out publicly for his own storyline.
She admits to some things that I think she knows puts her in, not only is she way below me when it comes to the number of subscribers that I have, I don't know why she makes that such a big deal, but she really does. And I think it just bothers her that I've got more subs than her. It really bothers her. You can just tell.
I definitely don't think she's the only one bothered by the comments made about your smaller channel, Uni. Sincerely, a smaller channel.
But unlike Betty, I'm not a narcissist about the amount of subs that I have, or I would be on my biggest channel doing all of this, right? I'd make this a staple on at least Uni-doxx 2, my second channel that's got over 20,000 subs, because at least there I could go and do what I'm doing here now to a lot more people.
And yes, in part 2, he did go over and do a video on his bigger channel. Again, posturing 100%. And honestly, it's really embarrassing to watch how much this did bother him. I've always been told successful people don't have to tell you how successful they are.
But the point is, it's this content, these people are too irrelevant for me to feature on Uni-doxx 2 in that way.
Oh, they were only relevant enough to go to his middle channel. I guess that's why he streamed them there on the 21st and did this whole posturing thing. Gotcha. Okay. There's levels to relevancy on Uni's channels. I get it.
They're they just don't matter to that extent. I don't mind doing a couple videos kind of exposing them to my audience. My audience, though, there is expecting a little bigger caliber of stuff when we go over there with anything, so.
A little bigger caliber of stuff, like your conspiracy theorist BS? Is that what you're talking? Because these two would be perfect for that type of content, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think y'all would work really well together, actually.
So, my opinion is much like yours. She is going to lose her channel, and it has nothing to do with me. I think it's going to have to do with people who she has doxxed and targeted and stalked.
So he predicted on April 23rd that BHB will be losing her channel. Again, not because of what she did to him, but he's trying to imply by what she did to his family members that were mentioned in these quote-unquote PayPals. And the sad part about this all is there are actual victims of BHBs. But Uni has to overshadow even the real victims of BHBs.
You know, not myself, but many other people that aren't YouTubers, right? Somehow, I think there is something legal there. I don't know. We need to do? Get Nate the lawyer here.
Gotta get the name drop in there, don't you, Uni? Anyways, back to the topic. He forgets that there are actual victims of tragedies that these fools exploit on the daily. That's who we should be concerned about and what they're doing. Private citizens that they're actually harming, harassing, doing things to. Not a creator who is poking for an intended reaction and then cries wolf as soon as he gets a reaction. Yes, it's a shitty intimidation tactic that they like to use, doing PayPals, voicemails, stuff of that nature. But it's not all these other things that Uni has tried to make it into, because Uni wants to be the ultimate victim of theirs, which is really sad because it overshadows all the real victims of these guys or these clowns bullshit.
Even if Nate says, because Nate will come in if he knows, right? If Nate doesn't know, he's straight going to tell you. Like, he'll still come on, but he'll just be like, look, I'm not going to have anything there. Though Nate can talk to other lawyers, or he could get us in touch with a lawyer that would know, that we could have come on. But I think that there is a thing with public figures in a gray area when it comes to YouTubers that are at the size that we all are, where we are in a here's how YouTube works. If it's legally arguable, they're going to defer it to court instead of making a decision. So
he's trying to state that because he could be considered a public figure in his eyes, I guess, that there's a gray area, that it might not be doxing, but because they've sent information to him about family members or so on and so forth, whatever he claims today, that it would be doxing because they sent private individuals' information, even though he thinks he's a public figure because of the size of his YouTube channel. Yeah.
Instead of doxing Betty, or banning Betty for doxing, they're going to go in and say, you know, you did this to a public figure. In court, you may be able to argue that, you know, you had some right to talk about that person. Now, again, that will not apply to the private citizens that they do this stuff to. So I just want to get that out of the way. When it comes to me, Do I think she'll get banned? Yes, for what she did.
Again, he's talking about her being banned on YouTube when supposedly the incident with Uni was all on PayPal. Yeah, make that make sense. And Uni, I hate to break it to you, but you're not really a public figure either. Again, signed a smaller YouTuber who's definitely not a public figure. Just a public asshole.
But because, for whatever reason, she was so, I don't know if she was drunk, I don't know if she just wasn't thinking, or like Navy says, if you look at her body language, if she obviously hasn't been sleeping, she's not eating healthy, she's not getting any exercise, she's not getting any sun, I don't know what's going on with her, but
I almost forgot that Uni claims to be a body language expert on top of everything else that he's accomplished in his life. But, Uni, it's crazy that you can identify these very things in BHB, but have not been able to identify them within yourself. I think you need to do some self-reflection.
that could be the thing causing her to kind of like target citizens, just private citizens. She should have never included them in her doxing.
She should have never included them in her intimidation tactic.
Because she doesn't have any argument to look them up and to use her PayPal, her brand, her PayPal, her YouTube brand PayPal.
So now there's such a thing as a YouTube brand PayPal? No, it's called a business account, Uni. Once again, trying to make this something it's not.
Every single video, it's right there. She has no excuse to use that PayPal to dox and target private citizens in a threatening way like her and JLR did. I think we've got that out, and let's get moving.
They should have never used the PayPals for intimidation tactics. I can get behind that. However, once again, it was not a dox. But he'll continue to try and twist it into one.
Bit of comedy yesterday, so this is absolutely hilarious. So
I love how she's trying to convince us that it's hilarious when she is peeing her pants. And it looks like she took a shower, pulled her hair back, put on earrings, did some makeup. Very different Betty, right?
No, this is what Betty looks like all the time.
This is a different Betty. A completely different Betty. I don't know. Maybe she because she's talking about me, she was like, I'm going to get all prettied up. I don't know.
So you think that because she's talking about you, that she put makeup on and did her hair? Uni, she looks the same as she always does. And that is a little cringe. I mean, a lot cringe that you would even assume that.
texting my phone. It's like, something's going off on this particular creator. I'm not going to plug his channel. It's a smaller channel.
It's a smaller channel. Oh, man, what a jelly brain. What a jellyfish brain.
But you're so unbothered by her mentioning that.
And it wasn't a smaller channel when I posted on Uni-Rock TV and let all 30-whatever-thousand subscribers there know that Betty and JLR dox me. Made sure to go to Uni-Rock 2 where there is 20-some thousand. I will be up front. There's at least 5,000 to 6,000 people on Uni-Rock 2 that joined from Uni-Rock TV, but there are a lot of new people there due to the fact that right around the 5,000 subscriber mark on Uni-Rock 2, 5,000 to 6,000 is where I stopped posting completely on Uni-Rock TV. So,
sorry, that's all I heard right there.
that's why after that mark, after 15 or plus thousand people really did not come from Uni-Rock TV. So anyway.
That thinks he's big stuff on the streets of YouTube. And it's got the secret numbers and stuff like that. He's gonna...
No, I don't have the secret numbers. I love Menace to sobriety because Menace went in to YouTube's terms of service and showed this, which proves that I'm not claiming to have secret anything, Betty. I'm talking about what I actually have, okay?
I don't know why this is such a big deal, but it is.
Wow, what a fail. How embarrassing that would be if that's the case. Actually, both scenarios is very embarrassing for her. But very much exercises her incompetence.
Speaking of incompetence...
Get in touch with the YouTube creator support team. If you're an eligible creator, you can get access to our creator support team. It includes creators monetizing with the partner program. See, that's why when I told you in the stream I did about her doxing and everything, the first response to her and JLR doxing, I had said that I'm going to directly contact YouTube because this does have to do with me. And also will be going to Team YouTube through Twitter to make sure that it gets into the hands of YouTube in every way possible to get this resolved to the rules.
To the rules, even though it happened on PayPal, but he wants to report it to YouTube where it didn't happen. He brought it to YouTube and gave out his own information on his family and himself.
I want them to look at my streams about you, anything and everything I've ever said or did. They can even go back before you. They could go back to the beginning of my channels because the majority of my content already has been looked at by them if you go back 2 years, 2.5 years. So anyway, the point is, I know that since I monetized, I've had this option. Though, it's very possible that YouTube maybe reserves this nowadays for creators that hit a certain milestone. Betty, though, she's got 20K. She has to know about this. She has to if she's even looked at her studio and read through it, when she signed her contracts, when she's interacted with YouTube, when she gets a notification from them telling, hey, watch this video, we've had some changes to our policy. She has to know about this. Though maybe it's because she just can't stomach the fact that I wasn't lying. See,
A liar lying on a liar. Say it isn't so.
notice how she's acting like I'm lying, right? So I just want to put it to rest to everyone out there. Betty is the liar. If Betty was even the slightest bit honest after I finished reading this to you, she would go back to her channel and let people know that she was wrong and I was right. I wasn't acting like I have any special or secret access, okay? I literally, though, have access. I do have access. That was my point. You can go listen to what I said.
Let's just go ahead and take a refresher on what he said in his first stream after JLR sent him the PayPal that kicked all this off. Let's listen to his words. This next part will just be an overlay, but it is from April 20th, 2023.
I guess I'll just say it again. You'll never, ever dox me and threaten me and come at me more than when I debunked QAnon.
Don't worry, I don't think we could forget these claims.
You will never do it more than when I debunked Pizzagate. These
Another one of his claims to fame.
motherfuckers have dug through every day of my life. And that's why there's nothing there to dox, bro. Like JLR, you eventually have to admit to yourself that you will meet the wrong one. And I may not be the wrong one when it comes to your investigations, because I'm not. I may not be the wrong one when it comes to many other things, but I'll tell you what I am the wrong one for. YouTube, PayPal, Twitter, Patreon. I'm the wrong one, bro, because I have been on these platforms. I always have had a good standing on all of these platforms. I will always have a good standing on these platforms. And I know how to do it. I know how to communicate. I know how to get it to them. And you just watched your friend Molly go down, okay? You got Betty shaking so bad she's creating kick platforms before she's even banned, you know? And in reality, I don't even care to get Betty banned, you know?
She wasn't the only one that created a kick account.
I'm going to give you a little hint to see if you think I'm bluffing or if I'm telling the truth with what I'm about to say, okay? The proper thing to do when someone doxes you through PayPal or YouTube is to actually contact your lawyer and then contact the platforms that were used to do this.
Seems to be you give that advice, but had a real hard time contacting your attorney. Who knows if you even have one at this point.
But I already reported you. You'll probably find out about it in a few days. But here's the secret, buddy. When that report goes through, I can, in the morning, pull that report. And then I can go into my partnership at YouTube, and I can directly contact YouTube and give them the evidence of what you've done.
Even though it's not a YouTube issue, it was a PayPal issue.
And I will, okay? Because you just threatened me on PayPal with $1. You couldn't even do $5. Like, most people will be like, I don't want to look like a cheap ass. My threats at least have to have $5 behind them. I'm not a stand-up guy. I just have used these platforms for well, I hope I'm a stand-up guy now, right? I've been an asshole. I've been cocky in the past. I made lots of mistakes. But I think that the way it sits now, you know, I mind my business. I speak to the law. I speak to respect to the people I talk about and myself, to my rights. And I give my opinion.
Things that didn't age well, part 501.
You know what? Now that I think about it, he's probably really mad at me. I probably hurt the guy's feelings.
I think your fifis might have gotten hurt too.
Because their gaslighting and them darvoing the situation is the only thing they have.
Kind of seems like the only thing you have too.
And there is one thing that completely destroys Darvo, and it completely destroys gaslighting, and that is archiving the truth.
How's this history of your own statements taste there, Uni?
But you know what? I just want to make sure JLR knows. I don't care how much you threaten me. I am not intimidated by bullies like you.
You sound awfully intimidated to me. Also, what grown-ass man uses the term bullies on social media, especially when all of this started over $1 PayPal?
You're an embarrassment. It's why you act like you do. You're a coward. You can't even look face to face the people that you lie on and defend yourself. You run off, piss your pants, do the stanky leg to try to get the pee off your socks, and then you try to dox them on your platform. You're nothing. You are nothing. Who do you think you are? A world famous YouTuber? I don't even think that. I've been here longer than you. I've been doing this better than you for longer, and I don't even think that about my damn self. So who the hell are you to think you're anything? Wow. You want to talk about a delusion of grandeur? This is a delusion of universal grandeur. This is like fucking Big Bang level grandeur. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like the I debunked QAnon grandeur that you seem to have.
He sent me a $1 PayPal, and in it, he tried to bring up a family member of mine. He tried to bring up an address, which is just, probably him doxing some other dude named Jason Smith or something.
Just a reminder that he was the one to give his full name on his stream.
And he tried to basically act like at the end he was asking for an interview. So he was implying, I know where you live, even though he doesn't. He was wrong. And he was implying that it was kind of a threat because, look, I know who your family member is. Haha, I'm going to get your family member. Now, he didn't say he was going to get him. He implied, So, he's doing what he does, right?
The crazy part about all of this is every bit of that could have been solved if Uni would have shown the PayPals. He could have easily redacted the private information and shown the PayPals. Then there wouldn't be this him and han over what actually was stated in the PayPals. It would be straight to the point.
I always give people a fucking warning. Yes, I always tell them, listen, I'll let you redeem yourself. I'll let you fucking stay on the platform. I won't fucking report you. Like, he deserves to be banned as of yesterday. I didn't report him. I tag team YouTube with his docs, but he has to expect that. But I didn't fucking get a hold of YouTube directly or anything on his ass. And I feel guilty about that. I was just talking to some people that I really respect about how I felt bad because maybe I should get a hold of YouTube sooner when I see somebody like Molly, Betty, and JLR, right? And, of course, I was assured, no, because you're doing the right thing by making sure that they're doing this to people. I don't give a shit that he did this to me. I care that if I just ignore it, he's not going to do any damage to me, just like Betty didn't, just like Molly didn't, just like none of the people before them did.
If they didn't do any damage, then why are you so freaked out? That was just a small refresher of what he actually did say on the 20th of April in his first stream that he keeps telling everybody to go back and watch. Of course, if you want to hear more of that, you can go to part 2 because we covered all of that in that one.
Anyway, I'm very specific when I do a stream for this reason. When I'm dealing with certain people, I know whether I have to be very specific or not, okay?
Oh, wait, that was you being very specific about what was actually stated and what was factual. Meanwhile, you haven't shown a single bit of proof for any of these claims that you have made.
Take us down, right?
I never said I was going to take you down either. I said that I was going to send in what you did to Team YouTube. So, again, you're lying. There's lie number... Can we keep a lie chart? Can we keep a lie amount, maybe? Would that be okay? Or make an amount of lies or something?
I actually thought about doing that myself in part 1 because of all the lies. Yet, there is no way I could have kept track of the amount of lies. And we're only up to part 2.
And I can't stop cracking up. So people are texting me that this one creator's going off, he's having a hissy fit, like literally triggered on his live, he's...
Yeah, there's the next lie, because I wasn't triggered on any live. In fact, I was laughing at you. I was laughing at the fact that you thought that by doing this, you were somehow going to intimidate me. We were making fun of you. See, I don't know.
If you watched part 2, you probably already realized that he was definitely not laughing. He was pacing back and forth and extremely upset. He wasn't raging per se, but he was definitely upset and very, very anxious.
What you need to do, Betty, is go to the Random House Dictionary and look up the definition of triggered and re-educate yourself, because in reality, you're the one triggered. That's why you're lying so much. Everything I said was true. We weren't triggered, and it was a pretty damn good video.
Of all people that should be looking up words in a dictionary to understand the definition. Anyways, Uni, if you think that was a good video, I implore you to go back and rewatch it yourself, because you claim that you weren't upset, you weren't triggered, and it was so obvious that you were. Now, can you get to the point, because you are sticking to things like your sub count and all of these petty little things, because in the big scheme of things, you are circle talking into confusion. Everyone into confusion, including yourself. because you know, as well as the rest of us do, that it is not what you have been trying to claim it was. It was an intimidation tactic 100%, but doxing and all this other crap that you've tried to claim is just not it.
Raging, right? What you call raging on YouTube, apparently. But apparently, and I don't know if this is true, you know.
I've listened to my video. I didn't rage at all. Navy, you can help me though. How often do you think I raged in the video?
Oh my goodness, who gives a shit? You weren't raging, but you were pacing and acting like Kiki does after I've given him catnip. And if y'all know Kiki, you know how crazy that is.
Could be a number of trolls or who knows, right? You never know where some of this stuff comes from. But apparently, this creator received a $1 PayPal from JLRs.
And yes, he takes over 3 hours to get through this one clip. So I have taken a lot out, but attempted to leave in the context for the main pieces that I wanted to discuss. But it took him over 3 hours to get through this video.
You sent it too. See, you sent one too, and I said that it's really weird. She acts like she saw the video, but at the same time is very she could basically tell people right here the facts that she got a $1 PayPal from her and JLR. I don't know why she would split it up. It's very dishonest. It's very weird.
Actually, you're being dishonest because they both sent one. Hence, they're not one and the same. She sent one after she got clips of your video or was watching clips of your video and saw how upset you were about JLRs. So she decided to join the fun and send you one also. They weren't back to back like you have attempted to claim they were. They might have been remotely close in time frame, but there was a lapse in time. And she even admits that she had been notified that you were going live and saying all this stuff. So she decided to join in on the fun. That's it. That's all. And I'm in no way, shape, or form defending BHB, but the facts are important.
But one of the things here is, though, I want to make sure you guys know what I did in case you didn't see the video. It was days ago. Oh, Sammy says, how is it a dox if it wasn't public? Please tell.
Remember earlier in the stream how he was going to explain how it was a dox, and then in mid-sentence, while explaining how it was a dox, he switched the topic completely and never went back to how it was a dox? Well, now he just got asked again, and he's not very pleased about that. But let's listen to what he says.
The doxing, I already explained, Sammy. Just rewind. I handled it at the beginning of this video. You're more than welcome to go listen.
In reality, you all saw how his explanation of this dox was handled in the beginning of this video. So if this person was to actually attempt to rewind and find it, they're not going to find it because he never explained how it was a dox. But talk about moving goalposts.
Tell you what, I'll do you a favor, Betty, or JLR on your sock accounts.
So not only did this person ask a rational question, but they sent it with a super chat. And he instantly claims that it's a sock account for BHB or JLR because they're questioning him. Yeah, interesting how that always happens.
It was a dox because by sending that information that I've never put out anywhere, they have proven that they doxed those people together.
There is the assumption because of their relationship on social media that they work together. However, he has not shown any proof of them actually doing this together.
They wouldn't have both done it. They could have argued that it wasn't a dox. They could have said, hey, I looked it up myself and I sent it to you. But because they both did it, they did it together, and they both, while with a malicious intent, when they were angry at me due to me doing my video, went and pursued information about me, not being happy with what they found out about me.
But you claim this all happened just a couple of months ago.
Not having anything they could try to use against me, they then thought, well, we're going to have to go to his family. And by then looking up not just family members, but by looking up their addresses and attempting to dox their addresses, they dox. That's doxing. You see,
once again, changing the definition.
Doxing is not just publishing information. In fact, publishing information, if that was the dox, the news, most commentary YouTubers, anyone that has to look up information on somebody would be doxing people.
Isn't that ironic? That's what you've been claiming.
To some extent, sometimes, if it was the publishing of certain information that was doxing. It can be, but it doesn't have to be.
So the definition is open for interpretation, is basically what he's trying to say. when in reality, it's not this difficult.
In the terms of service, which is what I was talking about in my video, the doc.
He was talking about the terms of service on YouTube. However, this all took place on PayPal, as we know. So once again, combining two separate apps.
Comes from the malicious action. You're not going and looking it up for a video where you're respecting privacy. You're only keeping it yourself in a safe place where you know nothing bad is going to happen with that information. The minute you involve someone else in it, sharing the information, especially if you're sharing it to someone that's irresponsible. In fact, you can share it with someone, but
you can share it with someone, but
sharing it with someone who's had a charge like that, looking it up with someone that has a charge like that, it is a dox.
Oh, so it's JLR's past that actually makes it a dox. It's not a dox because of what actually took place. It's because he assumes that they got the information together, and because of JLR's past, that's what makes this situation a dox for him. Uni, this doesn't even work, and I am so embarrassed for you that you would even put this all out here.
JLR's not even supposed to be stalking anybody. He's not supposed to be digging on people. And especially if he's going to, he should treat that information in a private way. So the fact that they shared this information between each other and...
which, again, unfortunately, there's no proof of, but Uni's going to use past alignments, past things that we've heard other people say on social media to try and solidify his argument here. But it doesn't work. There actually needs to be proof of these allegations.
I already know who else they've shared it with. In fact, they have been kind of blabbing their mouths in the background to some people that don't like what they've been doing. So we've got a lot more information on them than we're going to put public. But
oh, of course. They've been talking in the background, and somebody has been coming to you and telling you what they've been saying. But you can't put that information public. You can just allude to the fact that you have something that tells you that this is going on, but you can't post it publicly. So you shouldn't be talking about it then, because if you can't prove it, then it's basically null and void.
I'll just go with what's public. It's absolutely a dox. But great question. Thank you.
Saying something like, well, will you be willing to meet me for an interview with so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so at so-and-so address? Okay.
That's not what he said at all. So what you're doing right here is lying about what JLR said.
I could have sworn in the first couple videos he said that JLR asked him for an interview. Well, now he's saying that that's not what was said. And all of this could have easily been solved, once again, by him showing the PayPal messages.
And, you know, you just proved that you sat with JLR and did this, just so you know. Because I know some of the sock accounts in the chat are going to try to say, okay, he's got us on doxing, so now we're going to have to make it look like we didn't do it together and we can try to get out of this.
Sadly, Uni, I think you're the only one that thinks the term doxing fits this situation. And if you're not, well, they need educated too. Because it's not a dox, no matter how much word salad you add to it. I don't have enough dressing for the word salad that you have already spewed to try and make this into a dox. You should have just stuck to, it was an intimidation tactic. Yes, absolutely shitty. Or you should have just shown the messages on the PayPal, easily redacted. That's it. In fact, you show the PayPal coming up and you redacted that one, but you couldn't show the originals and redact those. Interesting how this all works out. And you keep talking about moving goalposts, yet here we are listening to you continue to move the goalpost. Not only continue to move the goalpost, but completely redefine words. It doesn't work like that, Uni. And again, you didn't need to do all this extra stuff.
No, because Betty has already admitted that she has information that she shouldn't have, because the only place she should be able to get the information, if she didn't do it with JLR, is from my video. And
she acknowledged seeing your video of you being upset about the PayPal from JLR. That's why she sent hers.
Unless JLR did a video and talked about it, which I haven't seen. And again, that wouldn't matter anyway, because I know that before this video, when this video came out, he hadn't done a video. So she has shared that information, did do this with JLR. And again, I even have more proof than that. I'll go ahead and give you one piece of it. The two messages came through right next to each other.
So we're supposed to just take his word for it again, right?
They did it together and then sent the messages one after the other.
Okay, this is a PayPal. PayPal to me is like private. I don't see other people's what they're receiving on PayPal. Somehow this turned into he's trying to say that he's being harassed and doxxed because he was.
No, you did harass and you did dox. Not just me, but you did these other people. You had to dox me to get their names and information about where you thought they lived. Number one.
It's crazy to me, but in the original videos he didn't even mention that he was named in these PayPals. But now they doxed him to get his family members. Uni, can you quit switching it up? Because they didn't dox you. Your PayPal information is on your YouTube. They could have easily just went and got your family's information. And they didn't release any of this stuff publicly at this point in time whatsoever. Again, this is back on April 23rd, still before the letter even happened. And Uni, did you happen to get a cease and desist in your email around the 21st of April? I'm just curious because it sounds like that's his typical means, and the letter was actually written on the 21st. And you mentioned in your video on the 21st that they had sent you links of their videos. So I'm curious, did you actually get that cease and desist emailed to you, or who sent you links to their videos? Can you expand some more on that? Thank you.
You then putting it into the PayPal. You sending the PayPal was just letting me know that you had doxed me and that you had been digging on me and sharing information with other people.
All it let you know was that they had information on your family members and a supposed address. Unfortunately, again, shitty intimidation tactic, but sadly, it worked really well for you.
That if you wanted to make the argument, I only share that information with people that I know that I can trust. Someone who has a commentary channel on YouTube and does not dox people, does not share private information, that puts out their videos and they respect people's information. Maybe you could make the argument then.
Which he has no idea who's shared what.
The PayPals are the proof that you and JLR maliciously sat and doxed people that aren't on YouTube. You used me and dug on me. You took their information and then you tried to send it to me to intimidate me. JLR did not even ask for an interview with those people. He just named them.
So now he's claiming that JLR didn't even ask for an interview with those people. He just named them. But let's take a look back at what Uni actually claimed in the video.
And he doesn't know what to do. So, of course, he's trying to dox me. Now, he should probably, know because Betty and Molly and Dolly and all of them have been, trying to dox me as hard as they can. And they pull some address that I've never even lived at. And listen to this. Listen to the street that it's on because it's prophetic. Church Street. Yes. So he sends me an address and something like, I think what he was trying to do was use my ex-wife's name and say, "Hey, ex-wife, we'd love to interview you." And then he puts an address in there. Or something or other, okay?
Well, it sounds to me like you claimed it was an interview request also.
See, if JLR would have typed it like you said he typed it, you wouldn't have an argument, but you could at least attempt to make it. You might have want to talk to your friend to see, oh, Uni's lying again. Okay, talk to your friend. Ask him to show you what he sent to me because then you'll know that I'm right. He didn't
Why didn't you show it? That would have been simple.
say he wanted an interview with them or anything. He had listed their names and addresses and things to try and intimidate.
Well, we just heard what you actually said.
Okay, gotcha.
Asked for an interview. I don't recall him ever saying that he's ever been asked for an interview from JLR before.
Excuse me? What does that have to do with anything?
Right, so I don't know how that quite...
Because you claimed that JLR asked for an interview with your ex-wife.
Yeah, this is where stupid people come up with like their stupid laws. They think they know the laws. They use things like stalking and harassing, and what they're describing is none of that, right? But
Okay, we're adding another lie to the lie-o-meter because she's being deceptive. I made sure to tell you that I didn't care about the law. I care about YouTube terms of service.
Even though none of this took place on YouTube.
Okay, just so you know. I'm talking from a YouTube terms of service perspective. You doxed me and you broke the terms of service of PayPal, YouTube, and the other platforms you are on. That's a direct quote from that night.
So even though it happened on PayPal, he's claiming that they broke terms of service on all the other platforms that they are on, especially YouTube. Make that make sense.
I said it exactly like that night. So, gotcha again, big brain. Go ahead, Nick.
I think you should go back and listen to what you've actually said.
They are, yes. But no, mods, just block people that are doing that. These are Betty and JLR sock accounts. It's either one or both of them. So just block them. I mean, I'm not giving them space in my chat anyway. Block them when they come up.
Oh, but you handle criticism so well.
Let me see what I got set right here. All right, we're going to toggle that off. And yeah, just block the living shit out of them.
they
Wow, that kind of sounds like The Purge.
gaslight their audience into thinking that they know what they're talking about. Whatever.
That's you. You see, gaslighting because you don't know the definition, is where you lie about something that happened in specific ways so that you can try to convince people that it happened the way that you're saying.
Oh, Uni's going to give us another definition. Meanwhile, he's giving us a great example of all of these things. And the biggest example he's giving us is what not to do.
It's not just lying. It's lying with an intent to change the past in a way that you benefit from. And it's typically used in the context of a narcissist, which you are.
Ouch. None of this seemed to age well, did it, Uni?
And especially JLR, but he's also a psychopath. But also used from the context of someone that is suffered a narcissistic injury, someone that's trying to Darvo, which is exactly what you're trying to do here. You have done something to, and again, I've stated a million times over, whether you want to say that you've done something to me or not, the people that you included, the people that you looked up, you did not just look up their names or else you'd have an argument. You looked up their addresses.
Speaking of Darvoing the situation and gaslighting.
See how I've already, thought about all of this before I did my video.
Yes, we all see the spin that you attempted.
I already went through all of it to make sure that when I came out and said what I said, I wasn't lying on you. I wasn't saying anything that wasn't absolutely true due to what you did.
Oh, you just changed entire definitions of words.
You included addresses that you claimed were the address of an individual that you wanted to meet up and go to or something. So
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and
that
round.
right there shows that you did not just look up their names because you wanted an interview with them. You were trying to communicate to me that you would go there, or you wanted to leave it open-ended so that I would fill in the blank. Now,
Oh, you definitely filled in that blank, didn't you?
YouTube, and I will go ahead and help Betty out so that she doesn't think that I was lying in my video. I'll actually prove it for any of these sock accounts in the chat. You can go to the 2019, it was later in the year. I'll guess it was in October, could have been November, but the 2019 update to terms of service, where YouTube stated that they were making changes to their TOS to try to stop exactly what you and JLR did.
Oh, for criminy sakes. Now he's back to YouTube Terms of Service, 2019 edition, even though all of this took place on PayPal.
See, they got too many people filing legal notices from lawyers and legal complaints, along with reports and tagging Team YouTube and turning in support requests about how people were doxing, but they were doing it while attempting to dress it up as something different, or basically trying to make it look like they were doing something else to protect themselves.
Why you always lying?
Because so many people at that time were getting banned for doxing, getting banned for threatening, so they basically had to change their method. So YouTube said, we're updating the terms of service to tell these people, listen, when you ask somebody for an interview, when you ask somebody, I'm only using that example because it's here, but when you interact with someone on YouTube, or when you interact with someone, even a viewer, it doesn't have to be a creator, you need to be specific, not vague. You need to make sure there's a reason for what you're saying and doing so that you don't get banned because okay, I'm going to ask Markiplier for an interview tomorrow, but I'm going to name his kids, his wife, his ex-wife, and his grandparents, and I'm going to try to name where they live. Am I doxing and intimidating him, or am I asking for an interview?
You're rambling on about nothing is what you're doing.
You are doxing and intimidating. You've lost, Betty. It's over. Nice try, though.
Lost what? Because the rest of us have lost our marbles listening to you ramble.
So anyways, I'm tickled pink over this. I don't know if JLR did it. I still haven't confirmed one way or another whether that truly came from JLR.
Once again, she confirms she doesn't know who it was from.
But I thought it was
It did truly come from JLR. It was his... See, do you notice that she already said she knew that JLR did this? She knew what JLR sent me, right? But somehow, now, she doesn't even know if it really came from JLR. Because I think, and this is my opinion, but it's pretty obvious, that by this point, she's realized... Wow, remember the tickled pink part? This is something that Betty does. When Betty realizes how deep she's in it, she tries to keep her anger down. She tries to, she wants to make it look like she's happy and laughing. She tries too hard and it comes off as too fake. It's how she's kind of done herself in.
Lord, I was born a rambling man.
So I'm like, well, heck, let me go ahead and send him a super chat as well. And told him to send Jonathan back $1. I contributed $1, by the way. Told him to send Jonathan back $1 and say that he...
Hold on, I'd already reported Jonathan, while I was sitting there doing it, you had sent the other.
So once again, confirming that they didn't send them together. There was a time gap between them because you had already gone live about JLRs, and then BHBs came in as you were reporting JLR. Is that what you're claiming now? But you just told us a little while ago they were back to back, basically one after the other. You should have timestamps to easily prove this, Uni.
Well, hold on a minute. It doesn't really make sense. You did it pretty much right away.
You're right. Your theory on this does not make sense at all. So you should just stick to the facts, Uni. That would have been simple.
So how is it that Jonathan did it and then you wanted to tell me to send it back to him or something? Like, does that make sense, Navy? Like, that doesn't even make sense, I don't think.
What doesn't make sense is why you are attempting to twist this when you could have just been straightforward.
I can't track this, but I'll let her keep
Be
going.
willing to meet him for an interview with, 4 family members, his ex-wife, his dad, and another family member at their body shop. I wonder if he's gonna take that.
It's not his. You're wrong. You didn't just name the body shop. You put addresses in. So this is where, no matter what you're going to say here, again, you're done. You know you are. But again, you want interviews with.
But you said they weren't asking for interviews. Let's just let Betty tell us what she actually said, because he takes over 3 hours to break up like a 15-minute clip. So let's just listen to what Betty actually said. And yes, this was in part 2 also, but because he's the master of confusion, I figured it's really handy just to have the exact statements in one spot.
Had a little bit of comedy yesterday. So this is absolutely hilarious. So people started texting my phone. It's like, something's going off on this particular creator. I'm not going to plug his channel. It's a smaller channel that thinks he's big stuff on the streets of YouTube. And it's got the secret numbers and stuff like that. And he's going to take us down, right? I hear this and I can't stop cracking up. So people are texting me that this one creator is going off. He's having a hissy fit, like literally triggered on his live. He's raging, right? What you call raging on YouTube, apparently. But
he wasn't raging, but you also aren't triggered. You're enjoying every bit of this.
Apparently, and I don't know if this is true, it could be a number of trolls or who knows, right? You never know where some of this stuff comes from. But apparently, this creator received a $1 PayPal from JLR saying something like, will you be willing to meet me for an interview with so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so at so-and-so address, okay?
Does anybody know what was actually said? I mean,
PayPal to me is like private. I don't see other people's, what they're receiving on PayPal. Somehow this turned into,
as we discussed, it's not like Venmo. You cannot see the messages.
He's trying to say that he's being harassed and doxxed because he was asked for an interview. I don't recall him ever saying that he's ever been asked for an interview from JLR before, right? So I don't know how that quite, this is where stupid people come up with like their stupid laws. They think they know the laws. They use things like stalking and harassing. And what they're describing is none of that, right? But they gaslight their audience into thinking that they know what they're talking about, whatever. So anyways, I'm tickled pink over this. I don't know if JLR did it. I still haven't confirmed one way or another whether that truly came from JLR, but I thought it was comical. So I'm like, well, hey, let me go ahead and send him a super chat as well, and told him to send Jonathan back $1. I contributed the $1, by the way. Told him to send Jonathan back the $1 and say that he'd be willing to meet him for an interview with, 4 family members, his ex-wife, his dad, and another family member at their body shop. I wonder if he's going to take that as doxing as
well. And we all know the answer to that. He sure did.
Well, even though nobody can see it. And only he, but I guess somehow that's doxing to tell an interview. But you should probably, send JLR the $1 that I gave you, send it back to him and tell him you'll be willing to meet him for an interview with your 4 family members at your body shop, your family body shop. This whole thing that they think, he wouldn't show his face on camera. And he's like, well, I'm in my pajamas and stuff. Yeah, my audience has seen me. It's not, it's a guy. It's not like it's a girl that's got to do her hair, put on makeup and, get camera ready. It's a guy. Like, throw a shirt on, show your face. He wouldn't. He was red hot, completely, utterly triggered. But I did give him his $1 to go and send to JLR. But this wasn't the funniest part about it. Okay? The funniest part about it is now JLR crossed the line. Now he's crossed the line and he's taking him out. He's got the secret numbers. This 7,000 subscriber channel. Now, mind you, he doesn't even have access to the chat to creator studio support because he hasn't rose to the level of creator support yet, right?
And as we all know, because Uni has told us 5,000 times, he has access to creator support. Not that it matters, but Betty's thoroughly enjoying this. She's not triggered. She was really giddy and enjoying this. You can tell. Again, I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just stating what we're watching.
But he has the magic number. Now JLR did it. He's going to now take this this number, the secret number, the golden number to get to YouTube. And now JLR has crossed the line, and now he's wiping him off the map. He's going to go after him because he's got the secret number, and JLR is the most dangerous man on YouTube. What? That bullhorn Betty had that rap. I thought I was the most dangerous person on YouTube. What? So I'm trying to go to sleep last night, and I can't go to sleep because I am literally dying laughing in bed that this guy is so triggered by this $1 that was sent to him, right? I keep wondering, did you refund that $1 back since you didn't like it? I'm just curious. Can you refund my $1 back since you're not going to give it to JLR? Can you refund my $1 back? But now we're going down. He's got that secret number and he's got direct access to YouTube to take us out because now he didn't try before, but now, just now, JLR does stuff, all this dirty stuff behind the scenes. Meanwhile, he's telling his audience to keep going after Team YouTube, keep going after. That's some dirty stuff behind the scenes. So it sounds to
It's not really behind the scenes. He's been doing it on his lives.
me like this dude's getting a little taste of his own medicine, and he's kicking and screaming. He don't like it. Oh, but you can do it to somebody else. It's funny how that works. And then he goes further into saying he's going to call JLR's PO. These people do absolutely no research, and every time they open their blessed mouths, you hear how ignorant and how unknowledgeable and lack of facts they have. I don't know. Hello. I know there's haters in here. You haters in the back. I don't know what to tell you. JLR hasn't been on probation or on parole in I don't know how many years. You're going to call a PO officer that doesn't oversee Jonathan and has no jurisdiction or authorization to do squat. But if you were so factual and knew how to open a computer up and do the scintilla of actual fact-finding and research.
I can't say as though BHB researches well either.
You would have probably known that. So I don't think you're going to get very far with this probation officer, because once he's done with probation, they're kind of out of the picture, right? And he's so dangerous. But you know what? And this guy's like, I have a background, but I've been honest with to my audience about my background. Well, you know what's kind of funny? Everybody says that until we start digging in their background and find out that there's a lot more back there than what meets the eye.
They will say that even if a person doesn't have a background.
Right? Because it's not just about what's on your paperwork. It's how many times have law enforcement been at your house. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done. Lots of things. Now,
she has no problem admitting that they will do all sorts of stuff if you keep poking. Again, they like to play the games, and unfortunately, Uni decided to play with them. Once again, you don't have to lie on these people. They do enough on their own.
That's not my job. I'm not trying to, but don't sit here and cast stones at people, and when they have enough and they start toying back at you, you cry like a little baby. That looks really, really stupid.
I think I'm more angry at him for giving Betty the chance to be right about something, because she's right. This does look ridiculous and plays right into their hand. And it was so unnecessary.
It's so funny because the whole world can see that you attack people endlessly and come up with obviously, clearly you don't even have your facts straight, especially since you're calling his probation officer that doesn't exist. But hey, I mean, go ahead, make my day. And
I'm also curious how that call to his PO
that have not, I haven't talked to one of them in so fucking long. I might have only seen them a couple times in a period of 10 years. One of them. Another one of them, I would love to see them more, honestly. I did talk to them after this, but I would love to see them more. It's just things aren't working out, and I feel bad about it. But anyway.
Completely unnecessary information that he's giving.
The thing is, you don't have a reason. You don't know them. You don't know how they fit into it. You didn't want... Your claim that you want an interview has been busted because of who those people were. And I'm not going to give you information about them so that you get what you want from what you did.
But that's exactly what you've been doing, is giving information. You've been giving unnecessary information.
Need information about me or about a family member of mine. You're desperate. You just think that if you get something on me, you'll be able to threaten me, and that's what you're trying to do here. But again, you failed. I'm not intimidated. The people you
seemed pretty intimidated for the last month.
Named are not what you think they are or something. And one thing I will state, because I might have said it on YouTube, but I might have just said it in Discord. The body shop, we don't own it. My family doesn't own it. I don't own it. You have failed.
As he continues to give out more information on it.
But again, they are not even, there's no anything that would have told them they were associated with me other than them being family members in some way, right? That would be it. So, I mean,
exactly.
It would be, okay, so here's the deal. It would be easy. Again, we have to look at where they got this information from. Where they got it from was social media accounts. So they've
And exactly how do you know that that's their source?
Gone and tried to stalk any social media account that they could. And it would have taken them a while because the people that are around me, they don't link to me or they don't include anything they've done with me or whatever, right? They would have had to have taken some ancient post or something out there or whatever and tried to just creep to find people's names or something or find some link between things, which is the doxing.
Uni, you've claimed every 6 months that you have been doxxed. So this information isn't that hard to find because people, as you've claimed, have been putting it out there for years.
It proves you did the doxing. There is nowhere for you to gain these people's information and their names. Do you want to put out where you got this information from? Oh, you won't, because you know that you creeped social media for a long period of time in order to even barely get what you had. And the reason the information is, like I said, irrelevant, it's just not anything current to any degree, is because you're that desperate, right? It's all they could find. They creeped and creeped and creeped, and they were left with just that.
Obviously, they found something because they have him spinning all sorts of circles.
As doxing as well, even though nobody can see it, and only he, but I guess somehow.
Now, again, doxing is the act of you going through and stalking me and my family. That's the doxing, the cyber stalking.
So looking up the information is the doxing? That doesn't even make sense, Uni.
You and JLR sharing your discoveries with each other and aiding each other in finding the information is another aspect of the doxing.
It's like an onion. It's got layers.
I do the video, which causes them to do the doxing. They were angry. It's a malicious reason to look me up, to look the family members up. Now, again, they always get away with doxing a YouTuber, especially one that has subs. So
tell me your fifis aren't heard about them calling you a smaller YouTuber.
I do think that's why she wants to say, oh, 7,000 subs is because she knows that one of the main reasons why she'll target me is because I do have a bigger channel. And if she does make it into court, she could use the public figure defense. But Betty, why did the police tell me that you...
So I guess he did contact law enforcement between the 20th and the 23rd. Were you granted the ROs that you were wanting, Uni?
You have no right to go after docs and to share personal information. You shared, factually, personal information about private citizens in a threatening way. You did. That is absolutely what you did. So I really do think you're not. I think you're the triggered one. And I think that you're the one that's mad because you've been outed. You've been busted. See,
sadly, the only thing you exposed in this is yourself, Uni.
The reason why you're busted is because of how much you failed in, doing this doxing attempt. These little details about the doxing attempt showing how you obtained the information.
Which in reality, we have no idea how they obtained the information.
And how you are willing to stalk private citizens that aren't public figures on YouTube, that have no, that you violated their privacy by pulling the information about them and then sending it around like you did is, a violation.
Although, once again, absolutely shitty intimidation tactic. Maybe even ventures into a form of harassment. But to claim all of these other things that Uni is claiming and doubling down that he knows where they gathered the information and that they shared it around aren't things we would even have access to knowing, unless he's talking directly to JLR or BHB, because they're not honest any more than Uni is.
To tell an interview, but you should probably, send JLR the dollar that I gave you, send it back to him and tell him.
No, I sent the dollar back to you, and you don't want to admit that I refunded your dollar because of what I wrote. And let me see here. I wrote something to the effect of, I'll try to pull a little bit of it here. I wrote refunding for doxing, harassment, and intimidation. And then I or something. And
or something. Uni, just show the damn receipt. Show the PayPals. Redact the messages. It's really not this difficult. But you continue this type of stuff because it keeps the content and the confusion going.
The second part of it, which I can't give you the specifics of what I wrote, but it was doxing for those reasons. So that's it. Refunded for doxing and this and this. And then I said, the refund is a record for the police report and a future restraining order. And this is why she doesn't want to admit that I immediately refunded her dollar to her with that message before reporting her to PayPal.
Again, no need to him and haw. Just get to the point.
Now, JLR, I already told you this in my video. I messed up because it'd been so long since anyone had done this. The last time that I've had people do this, they lost their PayPal, I think, within 2 weeks. PayPal doesn't mess around. PayPal is not like YouTube, just like Patreon is not like YouTube. If you give PayPal or Patreon proof that someone is doing any type of doxing, threats, or intimidation, they're going to ban them. It's not instantaneous. It does take a few weeks or so. But because they're much small, like, do we really think that the team at PayPal is overwhelmed with this kind of issue? No. That's why the team that they have to handle this issue is small. They can get it done way faster than YouTube, and it'll be handled very effectively.
Well, it's been over a month since this video was filmed. I wonder if BHB and JLR still have their brand PayPal accounts, aka their business accounts.
Same with Patreon. Patreon is a much smaller platform, and they typically don't have a lot of community guidelines / rule violation issues that happen because people, of course, make lots of money there, and they want to protect that money by not doing this kind of thing. So again, when you and JLR lose your PayPals, if you do, I don't want to hear you blaming me because, again, this whole video is saying you did nothing wrong, and I'm just crazy.
Oh, so now it's if they lose their PayPals, he doesn't want to be blamed for it. Well, who else would be to blame for it? I mean, granted, their own behavior, but Betty's not denying that she sent you a PayPal. She was loving the fact of sending you a PayPal and getting you riled up. I think her plan kind of worked here.
But you really do want to interview people who I barely talk to. I have barely anything to do with. One of those people I had not in my life, have not been in my life since, let me think real quick, 2008, right? But again, you have to ask yourself where they got the information from. They got the information by trolling social media for hours and hours and hours.
You'll be willing to meet.
Once again, Uni is providing details specific to his own family structure and his relationships. Meanwhile, claiming that they got this information from trolling social media and looking up on social media. If you just sit back and listen to Uni, he tells every bit of his business all out front. So if anybody has been paying attention, you've probably learned way more about his family from him than anybody else has ever mentioned anywhere. And it's his right to share whatever he wants to on his channel. But he can't cry when they use it against him, like they've been doing.
Do you notice how frazzled and triggered and salty she is? She hates that she gave me these violations. She knows
Now they're called violations. Okay.
that she has. Number one, I haven't mentioned that both JLR and Betty, and yes, I checked, used their brand PayPal account to do this, to dox these private family members.
It's called a business account, Uni. That's it. Nothing special beyond that.
So, again, why would you include them in anything? Like, you still can't say why. Like, what is it? Because you do know that those people aren't part of my life, several of them that you named. But you aren't going to, are you going to be able, let me just say it like this. Are you going to be able to explain to PayPal why you included their addresses and how you got their addresses?
It's crazy to me that in the matter of a couple days, how this story completely changed. Originally, it was one address that was incorrect, but it was so prophetic because it was a church street, and he went on and on about that. Now it's all these addresses, all these different names. The story just continues to evolve, and nothing has changed because it's still one message from each of them. So 2 total messages that contain specific details that he could have easily shown, and none of this would have been a problem.
Right? And what about the body shop thing? What about that? What are they going to say about including that information in there? This very old piece of information about one of my family members that you're trying to attribute to me in some way. Right? All of that is doxing. All of it's harassment.
Good stuff. Yeah.
It's intimidation, Uni, not doxing. The upcoming piece is absolutely cringy.
Maybe she really just wanted to see your face. Like, she got real sad because she couldn't see your face.
I've been told she has a crush on me.
She probably does.
No, I'm not
Probably
kidding.
JLR too.
You know, there was a person that used to hang out with them a lot and then stopped hanging out with them. And they wrote me a really long thing about how Betty is just like super crushing on me. It really freaked me out.
He was red hot.
First of all, I started laughing hysterically when I heard this the first time. Secondly, who used to associate with them a lot and no longer does that Uni would happen to be in contact with? Would that be House of Williams? So is he alluding to the fact that Mallory has been messaging him and letting him know that BHB has a crush on him? House of Williams, I need to know. Did you message Uni and tell Uni that BHB has a crush on him? Just wondering. Inquiring minds want to know. Or nosy bitches. Either way.
Completely, utterly triggered. But I did give them his $1.
Oh, that's what she's trying to say. That I didn't turn my camera on because I was triggered. I guess. But I've flipped out on my stream a million times. I throw my headphones. They're literally living by a wire. There is a singular wire holding these things together. They've been thrown so many times. Like, what? A trigger.
If you are throwing your headphones over YouTube or the internet, it's time to touch some grass, Uni. I hate to be the one to say that to you once again, but if your headphones have been thrown that much because of the internet, you might need to take a break. Hopefully he's just saying this to try and seem cool or something, but it's actually concerning, not cool. Because if you're letting the internet get you that worked up, it's definitely time to take a break. And I, myself, have had to do it a few times.
Now, I've tagged Betty on Uni-Rock 2 before. I never tagged her on Uni-Rock TV until she did this video, though. So, you know, yeah, this has to sting her really bad. The fact that, because I don't think even a lot of you know about my big channel. Like, you may know about Uni-Rock 2, because I try to get you to go subscribe there. By the way, please go subscribe. Oh, what am I doing? I didn't even put my pay links in the damn chat. Oh my God, bro.
Oh my God. It's like, how could you forget? You only post it twice a day in your Discord server. And how many times during your live streams usually? And nobody cares about the money piece of it. What becomes a problem and extremely cringe is how he goes about it each and every single time. Like he's forgotten about it, or like it's not just him posting it. Just post it. Scroll it across the screen. Do that. You don't have to do all this extra stuff, Uni. Sincerely, a smaller YouTuber who you claim is the biggest grifter on YouTube that has never once had her mods or anybody share my Cash App links in any video of mine. Yes, it's posted in the About section after I was hounded about it for months. It never gets dropped anywhere else. But, sincerely, the biggest grifter on YouTube.
T-Spiracy says she even filled her potholes with primer and put on her hoops for you. I bet she does like you. T-Spiracy, hey, I've missed you, and I hope everything's going okay, because we really do miss you around here. Guys, if you're not subbed to T-Spiracy, she is a awesome creator. She is the opposite of these people. She comes with facts and receipts. Back me up, Navy, please.
I guess that must only apply when T-Spiracy is being factual about other people, not Uni, because if you've been paying attention recently, yeah, that was a month ago that he said that, but as of recently, she is horrible because she questioned Uni. But a month previous, she was factual and to the point. I guess that all changed because Uni became the topic. Just like he wanted, though.
Yes, but T-Spiracy, yes, she did put on makeup, which I've never seen her do. She put on earrings. I thought that her ear holes had grown over at this point. It's been so long. And
you sound absolutely ridiculous even saying this. I know you're trying to be cute and funny by claiming these things, Uni, but she wears makeup all the time, and she always has her hoops on. I don't even know what you're attempting here, but it's falling extremely short.
And she did fill the potholes because it's hard to see them. I think she spent a lot of time caking in. She probably laid down. She probably ran outside and she saw some people working like on the street outside, and she was like, hey, people that do all the potholes on the street, come here really quick. And she laid down and said, fill my potholes, please. I want to talk about Uni-Rock and I have a crush on him.
To the chat.
Ha ha ha. That was such a knee slapper.
So me only having like 80% of my video base being demonetized was a lucky thing there. But it did send me into a depression. I did go and start live streaming constantly. I gave up. I gave up on video editing. I was a hardcore video editor and a very part-time live streamer. And the minute that they did that is when I went to a full-time live streamer, and I just said, fuck editing videos, because I would spend a week if I had to editing a video.
But I thought you were still working on your documentaries all along. That's what you've been telling us over the last 10 months. And he's talking about one of his other channels in the beginning of that clip and how it was demonetized and yada, yada, yada. He is really bothered by them talking about his channel being smaller and not giving him the acknowledgement of being this big YouTube creator.
I know you don't understand this, Betty, but both you and JLR have horrible pasts. Like, I would be just as crazy as you are if I had my past is that I've got some bigger channels on YouTube that I stopped posting to because of YouTube's changes in monetization. Your past is choking the living shitballs out of people.
So Uni's past only consists of having some bigger channels on YouTube being demonetized. But then he's going to compare that to Betty's real life past. Make that make sense, Uni. I don't know what he's so concerned about people finding in his past, but something really bothers him about it.
And because, I don't know, like Betty must not know a lot about YouTube, and she definitely has proven she doesn't know a lot about not only my present, but my past. Because I cover those kind of stories. I've covered people that put you guys to shame. Now, those people are gone. We faced off against the most dangerous people.
Was it like a WWE tightrope match?
JLR, though, he came back, you see. He was one of the most dangerous people on YouTube, if not the most dangerous. Oh my God, bro. There it is. Ugh. And he ended up stopping YouTube because of what he did, the extreme stuff that he did. And when the thing about JLR is he's tried to sneak his way back onto YouTube. Let's just take a quick look at Forgotten Whispers, a very, very small portion of the news report that she uploaded, if that's okay with her. If it's not, she can let me know, and I won't play any more of her stuff. I'm just saying.
Online, and we asked the feds about it. They suspect fraud and confirm they're investigating where the suspect's mail may be going now. Reported James Holmes had ammunition and tactical gear sent to his apartment in Aurora. But now someone else, hundreds of miles away, may be getting his mail. That's this man, who was just released from federal prison in April after serving 10 years for wire fraud.
Now, he pled the wire fraud down from more extreme fraud charges, just so you know. You'll say, why 10 years if you don't know why? Because he stole identities and then used those identities to completely attempt to destroy the lives of his victims. In many cases, he did. And he did that by using their names and identities to take large sums of money in their name and scam them. For him to leave YouTube and then go quietly chill over here and shit and then try to come back as this media guy. There's a reason why he constantly shows us that he knows nothing about the media, nothing about media or reporting ethics, and that he's so bad at what he does. It's because he's faking. And they're mad at me, and they're trying to intimidate me by sending those messages, because I promised both JLR and Betty that by the time I'm done, everybody on YouTube at least is going to know the truth about this man. And I'm not going to turn back. I'm not going to stop that pursuit, regardless of what you try to intimidate me with or try to dox me with or whatever. So, I know that you both can't understand this, but most of us, we grow up and we change and we fix the things that were wrong about us in the past, and we're not ashamed of the things about us in the past.
Take this job and shove it. I can't stand this fool's voice no more.
You couldn't sleep because I refunded your $1, letting you know that you're going to be getting a call from the police due to what you did.
Hey, BHB, did you get a call from law enforcement regarding the PayPal that you sent Uni? Uni, what's the status of the report with the police department and the RO that you claimed you were attempting to get based on these PayPals? Nosy bitches want to know. That'd be me.
That this guy is so triggered by this $1 that was sent to him, right? I keep wondering, did you refund that $1 back since you didn't like it?
You know that. See, this is a lie. She's trying to pretend she doesn't know if I refunded the $1 when I refunded her $1. Now, a father, a partner, a son, and a brother got upset because his family is now getting brought in. Well, they're going to actually do something about this. They're not going to be like Betty's other victims. Anyone that they target from my family are going to make sure that they never target them again. And they're going to do it the right way. That's not a threat. That is using the proper channels and making sure they don't fuck around. They don't let their family have criminals that go on YouTube and try to pretend that they're not anymore, even though they've never reformed or changed. They don't let them bully them. We don't let people bully us.
Just a reminder, this all took place back on April 23rd. Yes, previous to the letter situation. And if you think about what he just said about his family, and then how all of the stuff with letter popped off, you'll definitely have a lot of questions like I've had. We haven't even gotten into Lettergate. That will be probably part 4 and 5.
We don't bow down to people like this, right? We don't get intimidated by people like this, because when you let a bully like this intimidate you, you're giving them power to keep doing it.
And sadly, that's exactly what you've done.
When you also, what you're giving them is, you're giving them confirmation that they did it right. They did something right because they got their response. They got their reaction the way they wanted. The last thing that she and JLR wanted me to do is exactly the same thing that happened to Nonsense on the web when Betty did this to Nonsense.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round.
Which we all know what she did, but just in case you've forgotten, or that you need to I know there are people out there that probably need to hear me say this. She doxed Nonsense's entire family.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider. That didn't happen.
So this is not the first, second, or 25,000th time she's stalked people because she doesn't like their content on YouTube, because she's that thin-skinned. She can't take criticism. She can't hear the truth without acting like this.
Another great self-reflection moment from Uni.
And stalked Nonsense's family and sent addresses of family members to her in a voicemail.
She mentioned an extremely old address that I used to live at with my mom from about 15, 20 years ago.
And threatened her after doxing her real name.
My full name had been out there since December. The voicemail was in January. She didn't dox my full name either. That was already known.
So it was a dox, what she did to Nonsense, and it was a dox of the family, right? Literally, it has to be.
And this, my friends, is another reason why I said F you, Uni, the long way. Because he once again is trying to use my situation, try to fabricate things that didn't even happen in my situation to try and help paint his narrative that he's attempting to spin, but using things that actually happened to me and lying on them to try and make his argument stronger. Bullshit. And no, Uni, and for everybody else in the back, that's not anywhere close to a dox. Signed, the very person it happened to. This just must be Uni showing me respect, lying on my actual situation to help his argument. However, 2 days before this, he was sitting there saying he respected me so much. Yeah, this is the respect I've been given by this clown.
Betty wants you to believe that the dox somehow is just the sharing of information. Doxing is intimidation. Doxing is trying to bully with information. Doxing is inappropriately sharing private information. Yes, it can be, but any of these things can be doxing. And if you don't believe me, the YouTube TOS is waiting on you to go read it, Betty.
So basically what he keeps trying to say is doxing can be anything as long as it fits the narrative that he's attempting to tell. When in reality, the only thing I care about is the legal definition, and none of this is doxing. But Uni claims that it's in the terms of service on YouTube, when the incident that he's trying to claim was doxing didn't even happen on YouTube. It happened on PayPal. Yeah, that's the type of Uni logic we're attempting to use here.
She got the message and the refund immediately, and she knows that that message said what it said. I've already told you, so I won't repeat it.
He's not going to repeat it because he couldn't tell you what it really said the first time he attempted to repeat it in this stream. But eventually, in this stream, he will just show it, which, again, it's his refund and message back. He's never shown the initial PayPals that he supposedly got.
You started to think, can he file a police report about this? Can he push for a restraining order because of this? Can he report this to PayPal and YouTube because of what I did? And that's why you couldn't sleep, because you know that the answers to all of those things are emphatically yes.
So I'm assuming you have done all of those things, right, Uni? Considering it's been over a month.
That's right. And when we troll, we do it through comedy. We don't troll through any of the weird-ass shit stuff that these stalkers do. This is straight stalking, right? The pursuit. The minute you found information about private citizens that you said, I'm going to dig on them, you had doxed them and me, because you already doxed me to find them. And somehow you think you're going to argue not argue. She's not even making an argument. She just thinks she's going to get up here and say that she didn't do it, that she's just going to lie.
The way he attempts to twist the stuff is mind-blowing.
But you triggered, woman. You triggered here. Not a single time that night did I have my neck tighten and my chest tighten and my face muscles tighten. Not a single time did I make any funky faces. But your cam wasn't on. You would be able to tell if I was raising my voice, if I was getting, flipping out or anything like that. None of that happened in my stream, and I went back and skipped through it. Just because I was like, did I freak out? I don't care, by the way. You're not going to hurt my fifis when I go crazy on my stream, because when I go crazy on my stream, it's going to be because I want to. When something crazy happens, I'll go crazy, especially if it happens live. Yes, I will admit there are some times when I'm doing a stream where I've planned to go a little crazy because it'll add to what I'm doing. But I try not to do that all the time because I don't want you guys, I try to be really silly when I do that so you know that I'm faking it.
So has the last month of you losing your shit all been planned, Uni? Just asking for a friend. Personally, I think you just lose your cool at times and then make excuses for doing it.
Get down. I'll prove it. You were just triggered. Welcome to Uni-doxx. Body language breakdown of a triggered Bullhorn Betty here.
For those of you guys that didn't know, Uni also claims to be an expert in reading body language. Isn't it ironic?
Uber triggered because your attempt at intimidating me failed, and you're even uberly triggered because I outed what you guys did and let you both know that you are going to be 100%, and I'm going to promise this, I'm going to put my hand up, Betty. I will not stop until I hear back from YouTube and PayPal and any other platform that y'all are on.
I'm sure most body language experts use ooberty dooberty doobie doo triggered, right? I'm sure that's a normal classification for a body language expert. Just checking.
We lost power, dude. I was doing one of the most genius skits that I'd ever put together, bro.
The skit he's referring to was in part 2, and it was extremely cringe. And that's when the stream magically shut down.
Turning my commentary on them into a mystery, into a conspiracy. It was freaking genius.
Well, that answers a lot of questions because Uni thought that skit at the end of part 2 that we watched was genius. That explains a whole lot.
Had all this stuff planned out. Like I'd pulled up JLR holding up the panties, pooing himself. I'd pulled up all this, and I'm talking about how it's the Hershey squirt mystery in Hershey, Pennsylvania, where, that Molly and Betty and Dolly and JLR have hidden the mysterious conspiracy clues about their real secret that they constantly poo themselves everywhere they go in their content. And they never thought that a YouTuber would ever look at their content and figure out the secret mystery that they had inlaid in their content. And then at the end, I'm pulling up Molly earning the name Dumpy Dump and getting mad being called Dumpy Dump. Then I'm pulling up JLR holding up his panties, his woman's panties with the poo-poo stains. Then I'm pulling up JLR filling his face full of the laxatives. Then I'm pulling up Betty doing the stanky leg out of the furniture store, and it sucked so bad because we lost power right when I was building into those examples, because I went back and watched it. I'm like, please tell me that I got a little bit more of that skit in there. But it actually was perfect. It was the perfect ending to the stream.
The only thing good about the end of that stream was the fact that it shut the fuck off. I had to remove most of his skit from part 2 because it was so disturbing to watch.
If you would have responded in the way I do, which is to think of what you're going to say ahead of time, come in with your stream kind of plotted out in a general way so that you can kind of move and shake it where you need to, and you would have come in and actually addressed the points that I made in that video, and you would have made excuses for what you guys did. You would have shown that I was wrong about this and I was wrong about that, and you would have owned me. Then I would have gotten a taste of my own medicine, because that's all I do. That's it.
It seems to me that Uni is really disappointed that there wasn't a back and forth, a tit for tat with them. They addressed a little bit and then kept it moving. Uni has been stuck on stupid for over a month. I think he was really looking forward to the back and forth with videos on YouTube with them.
And then he goes further.
I've never done what you did. You're lying. I'm putting another lie up there. There we go. Here. You want to weigh in on that, Navy? You've been around for a long time. You are a veteran. You do not support people doxing. You do not support people harassing. You do not support people looking up things. And you don't support people making innocent people victims because they're pissed at someone on YouTube, right? You're completely against that. You've said this 1,000 times.
100%.
So if I did any of the stuff she accused me of, what would you do? Because you've said it many times.
I'd call you out. 100%.
It's honestly kind of sad to think about how many relationships Uni ruined over this. This is what he has thrown away so many relationships over. It's honestly heartbreaking to realize that. And I'm not heartbroken for Uni at all, because Uni was the one that did this to Uni.
And if I wouldn't let you come here and call me out, you would just go live somewhere and call me out. Yeah. And I would want you to. See, this is the thing, like,
Uni, you should have taken the criticism and listened to it. A lot of that criticism came from people that had your best interest at heart. But I guess this is just part of the narcissistic injury, bro.
You want to sit here and act like I have done something equal to you. And maybe, in your twisted, warped mind, my commentary, because it hurts your feelings, your narcissistic injury is so bad that you have to try and play this Darvo kind of game. But here's the difference between me and you. I have the proof of what you and JLR have done. You don't have the proof of anything you say about me.
He claims he has the proof of what BHB and JLR have done, yet he has never shown it, and it only got significantly worse from this point forward.
Hey, he's going to call JLR's PO.
I am going to call his PO. Yes, it's not Monday yet. I got to wait till Monday. I am.
These people do absolutely no research.
think instead of a bag of tricks, Uni's got a bag of excuses. Although it was the weekend, he always has some sort of excuse for any question he's asked, like the attorney. Instead of just being factual, he makes excuse after excuse after excuse.
Heels in the air right here. Yes, Heels in the air has gotten mad at me before. I don't think I got mad at her in response, but we are adults. We are allowed to criticize each other and still exist in a community. Heels in the air. I trust her. Whether or not she's, had an issue with me before, it doesn't mean I'm going to change the way I think about her or anything. I might have, an issue, like a singular issue. But that's what that is. That stays in its thing. Okay? So let's move outside of that here, because we're both adults and we both have a job that we're doing, whether she may like what I do or not, or she may have an issue with it. We still need to exist. We need to coexist. And I'm going to let that happen. I'm going to try.
Uni, you are so salty over the fact that Heels called you out. Meanwhile, you're doing the exact same thing of what you got called out for in this very video. You have completely removed all context from the video that you are using to paint your narrative. And once again, in a way, discrediting the original work. That's basically what you got called out for originally, and then had a hissy fit. Not only you, but your girlfriend had a hissy fit. And it has been nonstop. Poor Uni, poor baby Uni. Heels got mad at him. Heels kept it moving. Did one video, kept it moving. And you've been crying about it for how long? Uni, I definitely suggest you go get your sodium checked, because you are one salty ass bitch. And by the way, there's very few creators that I would actually really go to bat for, but Heels is one of those creators. I adore everything about Heels. And these clowns continue to lie on Heels on the daily. Crowbars up!
Right here, SF investigates. So the thing is, he has the proof. It's right here. I bring the proof, Betty. I don't have the proof. I bring the proof. I've shown this before when talking about JLR months ago. I don't have to do your job for you because of how bad you suck at this. You're allowed to lie on me. Where, by the way, hold up. She said I never bring proof.
Well, thankfully, there's other channels that have the proof on them already, so you can just go and find it. You didn't bring the proof. Somebody else brought it. You just reshared it. You're welcome, Uni.
Because that's all I got is proof. All I've got are receipts. I always have the original video.
Things that didn't happen for 1,000, Alex. Thankfully, Uni is surrounded by people who are amazing researchers who do a lot of the work for him. But Uni himself, he doesn't have shit without the people around him. And that's a fact, Jack. Uni uses other people's factual work. Uni himself doesn't do the work.
I always have. Did you try to deny? Did you and Jay, when I came out and said that y'all sent me these PayPals with this information in it, did you call me a liar? No, you said you did send it and tried to make excuses for it. You've never caught me in a single lie, ever. Because if you did, you'd grab the clip, you'd take it to your channel, and you'd try to get me. But you can't.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round.
So don't think I'm not going to talk to his probation officer. Don't think I'm not going to.
How'd that phone call go there, Uni? Just curious. And wouldn't that be considered going real life? I'm just wondering. And again, I understand that certain circumstances would absolutely call for that, because JLR does egregious things to many people. But in Uni's situation, would calling the PO be considered going real life after the PayPal that we've never seen, that we have no idea what the contents of the PayPal even were? And I'm genuinely asking what you guys think about that. For me, I would have to know the context exactly of the PayPal before I could make that decision. But it definitely seems like threatening to go real life on somebody.
Now, I get it. I know why you're lying to your audience like this. It's because you want them to think I'm a liar. You want them to think, this is what is the echo. See, I'm not even just going to own you. I'm going to completely own you. This is the echo chamber. You create the echo chamber with these lies that I've tracked. You create the echo chamber. The echo chamber is your audience. They will respond to your lies with the truth? No. They'll respond to your lies with your lies. That's what an echo chamber is.
That sounds awfully familiar to someone else's chat.
You create a bubble of information. Inside that bubble are the people who believe you and who are trusting to you, who don't fact check themselves, who don't go out and actually check things.
Well, Uni, you fall in that category.
They, or the ones that know you're lying and just lie with you, they are in an echo chamber because when you lie, those people are going to validate it. They are going to repeat it. You say, Uni doesn't bring proof. The ones that are in the echo chamber think Uni doesn't bring proof, or they respond to you with, Uni doesn't bring proof. They don't respond with their own thoughts.
Isn't it ironic, don't you think?
None of them respond with, I went and watched his show, and he actually backs up everything he says. He puts examples on the screen every time he shows something, and he actually fully explains everything.
Sure, Jan.
How did he lie? Where did he lie? That would be a truthful response. Where did he lie? Prove the lie. Show the evidence that he lied if he's this much of a liar.
Pick any stream, you'll find plenty.
That's why you're a narcissist. That's why this whole stream of yours is your narcissistic injury to the truth that I put out that showed how much of a scammer and a liar and a doxer and a stalker that you are.
He's shown absolutely zero proof.
Because you can't refute that you're a stalker. I haven't heard you address it at all. You are a stalker. You have not just stalked me. There are so many victims of yours out there. And how you stalk them is by, when you get angry at them. Now, Dolly straight up says you do this. Dolly straight up confirmed you do this. Molly confirmed that you do this. You get angry because of someone's content, their opinion, because my speaking and my content and how I feel about the facts I bring is my opinion. And you get angry over my opinion and what I'm putting out. And it causes you.
So now they're angry over his opinion. It started off, they're angry because he posted facts. Make up your mind, Uni.
Talk a lot. I wouldn't mess with his PO because he does nothing. I would contact the Division of Probation and Parole for the state he is on probation.
Okay, thank you. No, I probably won't be the one doing it anyway. It'll probably be my lawyer. And if the PO doesn't do anything, I'll just file a complaint. Because I'm not going to play games. I don't play like this. We're gonna make sure that this gets done, right?
Considering it's been over a month since he did the stream, I would assume by now he's had his attorney or lawyer contact JLR's PO like he claimed he was going to have done. But again, he doesn't want to talk about all of this that he actually stated that he was doing.
This isn't going to be something that they can just get away with and walk away from. Also, the other members of my family that they have gone after, if they have messaged them, if they've had sock accounts bothering them at the same time that this happened, that same night, the next morning, or any of those things, they're going to have issues with them too.
If these people have been getting messages, I would assume that you would have done the correct thing and reported it to authorities. But we don't even know what the PayPals that you've gone on and on about for over a month even contained. So chances are, who knows what these messages may have been. And just a reminder, this was all before the Lettergate ever kicked off.
You hear how ignorant and how unknowledgeable and lack of facts they have.
Okay, there's another one. I just showed that we have facts. I just directly, like within seconds, Betty, my facts are so laid out that I can go to them, even if they're on the other platform that you hate so much. I can go there within seconds and pull them up.
Again, he's relying on other people's factual content for him to be able to use. He's not providing facts. He's going and pulling previously done work by other people and using that to make his arguments.
That's a lie. So I'm giving you another lie. I don't operate like you. I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing.
Wow, we've been seeing quite the professional side of you over the last month, haven't we, Uni?
And here we are, and now you just have an opinion. You're not sure. You're pretty sure, right? Because you don't think I'm going to get that far. You would be confident. It's all in the way you talk, and it's all in the way I talk. Because I plan what I say. I know what I'm going to say. I plan that shit. You don't. You're triggered. It's emotional with you. It is methodical with me. Got me? Triggered has to have that emotion present. I'm not triggered because it's not. I'm just loving the cringe factory here.
Because
That is one thing I am willing to give you, is you provide epic amounts of cringe.
once he's done with probation, they're kind of out of the picture, right? And he's so dangerous. But you know what? And this guy's like, no, I have a background, but I've been honest with to my audience about my background. Like, you know what's kind of funny? Everybody says that until we start digging in their background and find out that there's a lot more back there than what meets the eye.
Okay, so then why haven't you hit me with that? By the way, another lie. I never said that I have a background in the way that you're framing it. You're acting as if it's a background comparable to JLR. Yes, that's a lie. You're doing this on purpose. This is part of the pathological lying that you do. You have fully dox my ass. I know.
Oh, now it's just something he knows. He must have a magic crystal ball also. Do you get like a zap or a buzz or a zinger, something when somebody's doxing you? Is that how you're notified, Uni? Just a sensation or a feeling that you get?
I know you have. You have fully doxed my ass. And you tried to send me the best you had to intimidate me. Let that sink in. You know what that says? It says exactly the truth is what I've said about my past. See,
it proves absolutely nothing.
My background is me talking about how when I got medevaced out of Iraq and I got back in.
Just so y'all know, I didn't take that out. He had a computer glitch and something happened. So mid-sentence while he's discussing this, he had to, I guess, restart. But again, I just want to notate that he continues to bring up his past military service. He uses that as a part of his show and his stories. That's why people continue to talk about it and ask questions, because Uni uses it as a part of his narrative in every show that he seems to do. At the end of the day, he could be an amazing decorated soldier and still a liar. It doesn't matter in the big picture, but it's just one more thing on top of a pile of things that he has not been transparent with his audience about and has misled people to believe certain things.
Okay, so where was I? Because the replay isn't going to have any loading. It's just a hiccup, y'all.
Just so no one can say that I cut it out or did something weird to it, it was a computer glitch on his end.
Where I left off was, I was talking to Betty about what I said about my past. My past, because I don't have a criminal background. I don't have a criminal record at all. Molly Golightly and what's his name, Navy? Molly's husband, what's his name? Walter.
Walter.
Where's Walter? Even admitted this. Your own friend admitted this, so it's funny that you're trying. I'm giving you. Wait, she was at 30. She was at 30. I know for a fact she was at 30. I'm giving you 2 more lies for this bullshit. Because you semantically are implying that I have a background like JLR does. No.
He jumps into big implications. She was making a poke at him, basically saying, even if you don't have a background, we will find whatever we need to find on you. And he's saying that she implied he had a background like JLR. That's a huge jump from what she said. But Uni, gotta be the victim here.
But here's what I'm going to do. As soon as I can refresh my little thing here and make sure that, I can see you guys just fine, which will take 10 seconds, I'm going to tell you my whole background. I'm going to bore the living hell out of the audience. I'm going to tell you my whole background.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Of course.
So here's my background, Betty, and thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk to my audience about this, because all it's going to do is, back up what I've already said and give them maybe a couple little tidbits of information that they didn't know about me, because...
I mean, not only has he given his full legal name and information on his family, addresses, yada, 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 but now he's going to give more information and then continue to claim that other people are doxing him when he himself is the one putting all of this information out there. Yeah, make it make sense. I've said that a lot because none of this uni logic makes a bit of sense.
Here we go. I got out of high school and I immediately started working in a computer field.
Oh, Lord, get your tinfoil hats out now.
I got hooked up with a summer help job, but because I knew how to code Visual Basic 6, C++, and I knew how to use Excel and Visual Fox Pro at the time, that summer, I had gotten hired full-time on with my own phone, laptop, and pager. I don't even...
Oh my God, no way. You had a pager?
I think I've told the audience this ever before. And I did that for a few years. At that job, I watched planes hit the 2 towers, and it really affected me. So I decided about a year or 2 later that I was going to travel for about a year and do a few other things that I wanted to kind of get off my bucket list, and I wanted to sign up. Now, the reason why I did the traveling and all that bucket list stuff is because we were at war.
I'm going to basically let him ramble through this section.
When I signed up. And that's a fact. It's just an absolute fact. So I went over and I got, of course, medevaced to Germany, from Landstuhl, Germany, over to Walter Reed in D.C., over from Walter Reed back home. And I immediately, due to the scope of my injuries, was injected with medication to take away the massive pain that I was experiencing and had to have very invasive surgeries. I I don't know if it's appropriate for me to zoom in and show you or some of my scars or not, but why not? I'm disabled for this, by the way, and I don't know how much of it you can see, but they had to cut me there, and then they pulled the skin real far apart with these thingies, and they go in if you have blood clots or if you have veins that are clogged or muscle damage or whatever to try to fix it. And I had veins, muscle tissue, and parts of my arm removed to try to save my life, and they did. Thank God, because I was told from the minute that I was injured till the minute that I had that surgery that I could die or lose my arm. Though that wasn't the most invasive surgery. I'm not going to go into much more detail, but I had to have a second surgery. And because of the second surgery, they gave me an option. They said, you can stay in or you can get out. And I said, I want to stay in because I was making a lot of money. I had gone through a lot of training. This is in my medical record. This is factual. So then they went and did the surgery. And of course, I'm disabled. And ever since I was put out of the military with honorable, with full payment and everything, and I'm still paid every single month that I'm alive. It's why I go to the VA. It's why I had to go to the DAV to deal with Leslie Bass and her husband's vet bashing asses and all the things that happened there.
There's that term again that he likes to use. Yet here he is once again using all of his stories as a part of his show. And then as soon as you ask a question, oh, you're vet bashing him. How dare you, you dirty vet basher. Even though for most people, a lot of this stuff is questionable.
Is because the first surgery didn't fix everything. It only got a part of it. Now, that doctor was amazing and helped my life immensely. Nothing against them or anything. They didn't make a mistake. They didn't do anything wrong. They just did their best and they couldn't fix me. I went to the VA on lots of painkillers. This is the thing I've talked about on my show many times. Now, I've never really told you what happened before I was medevaced. That whole part about me working in computers and all that, and being trained in coding and doing systems administration, running networks, coding billing programs, coding database programs I've never talked about, but who cares?
Land the plane, Spanky Jr.
You guys know that I have a background in computers. Many of you have been able to tell just because of the way I talk. Maybe I should have given you some information sooner, but yes, I'm very skilled in those programs, in those code, that type of coding, and HTML leading up to HTML5, and I can name about 40 other programs. In fact, I am a completely certified technician when it comes to the kind of computers that I call supercomputers because they're effing giant that run certain networks that I'm not going to go into detail on because, I shouldn't reveal all my secrets. Though, let's move forward to me being pumped full of medication, not just the good stuff that makes you high. I was, by the way, the highest milligram, the bestest of the good stuff I would get in both of my pockets when I walked out of the VA every month. Or out of the military, but once I got to the VA. And I formed a massive addiction to extremely high dosages of that, combined with other medications, because of course I'm on many medications after that happened to me. Due to taking so many medications, they have had to add my esophagus, my stomach, and other things to my disability because the medications have caused real, physical, readable, testable damage in those areas.
Again, all of this is unnecessary.
So this is why I constantly will tell you when I'm not streaming or if I'm sick or something and you'll be like, well, we want you to stream. And I'm like, I can't. I'm down and out. My disabilities are flared up. That's why. I was on those high dosage painkillers for a while. Maybe, oh God, it's so fuzzy. That time period of my life is extremely fuzzy. But I was on it for, I don't know. I'll just give you one detail I've never given any of you. They gave me extremely high milligrams of another medication for the PTSD. And I was a complete zombie. I was not me. Okay? Like, I was not a human. I wasn't a human. I wasn't a person. You would have just talked to me and I would have been like, oh, yeah. Yep. Thank you for your service, bro. I'd hear that all the time at the VA. Yeah, okay. And I just go limping on by because I walk with a limp still to this day.
The one thing I am going to say is thank you to all of our military vets, active duty, and for those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Listening to him talk about this frustrates me to no point, but I respect the hell out of our military, and that's all I'm going to say. And now back to him rambling. One more thing. Just because you were injured in the line of duty doesn't make you a good human being. One thing doesn't have anything to do with the other. And unfortunately, many of our vets come home with such severe PTSD that addiction issues are rampant. That's why we lose so many soldiers to suicide on the daily. That is something I take extremely serious. So stories like this, it's really hard. Let's just say that.
Anyway, though, at some point, I'd realized that I was a zombie. And I chose, actually, this is a literal fact, I didn't have anything that pushed me or something, no charges, no trouble, anything like that. It's just that my life was, I wasn't alive. It's not that everybody that takes those kind of medications get that way, but it was the combination of medications with the extremely high dosage of pain medication that put me there. And it took me probably 6 months to a year just to be able to get off of that stuff, just to be able to function without it, with help from the VA, with them treating me. You know, they gave me the medicine and they were willing to, God bless them, help me get to a point through intense physical therapy, through intense therapy, through intense treatment to get to a point where I could have a balance of non-narcotic medication that would take the pain away just to the point that I could function and I could learn to live with it. Now,
Other thing I want to add to this is I don't think he quite understands how lucky he is, because a lot of our vets are homeless and cannot access services. So while he tells this story and it's kind of a woe is me, I want us to remember that there is a lot of vets that can't access service, that can't get services at the VA, that don't have any options. So yes, it's a sad story, but there's even sadder stories out here on the daily.
here's what's great about that. Due to me being able to feel again, my pain actually, while it didn't go away and it didn't lessen significantly, I managed it and I've gotten manageable. Now this is, I'm old as hell. I'm old as hell because this is over 13 years ago, 12 years ago. I'd have to look at a calendar and shit. So
A lot of people have issues with how evasive he is when asked questions, especially regarding dates.
you know, that's the thing I talk about. I didn't go around hurting people or something. I didn't go around choking people. I didn't go around doing what JLR did, and I don't even have to name it. Everybody here knows it, okay? But don't think that I'm better than you. I have never said I'm better than you. I have said that you are a human being making the choices that you make that hurt other people, that make you look bad, that make you look cringy. That's what I've said about you. So you need to check your ears and your eyes, and I think you need to check that brain, and you need to actually go listen to my content because you're just lying about me.
There's so many terms I absolutely despise now.
And lying on a bigger creator, doxing a bigger creator like you are, is basically just telling all of your subs how completely useless you are at this and how you're just doing me a favor. You're just turning them on to me. Go ahead.
Up and do this.
Sadly, it seems that this is all what it was about, was those numbers.
Okay. All I know is what these people have been able to pull. Now, I don't pull records. I don't play your game. And no, I've never said that I know the law, Betty. You just got another lie right there because I've never said that. In fact, anytime I mention the law, I tell you how much I don't know. And I mention that I have to have Nate the lawyer and others come in to tell you about that because I don't know it.
Is there anything Uni does do for himself?
Yeah,
I'm
I
getting
think
that
so.
vibe. I'm getting a JLR and Betty are nervous about the PO thing vibe, and they're trying to convince people that he doesn't have one vibe. That's what I'm getting. Why wouldn't they just say JLR is going to tweet out his paperwork showing that he's not on probation? Because you do get paperwork showing that. You get paper for one when you first get on it, showing when you get off. Other people went to the court site where he's on probation, pulled the papers, and it says at the end of this year. I have no clue, Betty. Like, you really need to probably talk to JLR. This is not my problem.
It's interesting to me that he thinks JLR should prove he's on or not on probation and tweet out that information. Yet he's complaining about $1 PayPal. Okay.
I know this isn't the best stream ever, but I'm strategically reacting to this. By me reacting to this, they're just going to get even more triggered, even more angry, even more nervous. Betty does this stream right here for one reason. She did this performance for one reason. I want to make sure you understand. It is to make her and JLR feel comfortable.
Oh, there was strategy behind this one? Gotcha.
She hasn't, it's weird. If I had said that if I had said that Betty only had 20,000 subs, but she had another channel with 100K, and I found out, I would correct myself here. And I would.
I've never seen you correct yourself on anything to this date.
Okay? This is why I'm not saying it's a reputation or anything, because that's what every YouTuber does, right? I've even seen commentary YouTubers do addendums where they say, okay, listen, I messed this and this up, y'all. Sorry, here you go. And then they take that link, put it in their description of the previous video where they messed up, and they type it in, hey, y'all, correction right here, or they pin it to the top of the comments. And I know many YouTubers that do this, but y'all don't.
Meanwhile, you haven't corrected a single thing.
Oh my God, I've got Jonathan Lee Rich's court papers. I don't want them, but I've got them. I'm not mad that you put them there.
Just remember, he just said he doesn't pull anything. Again, it's public record, but if that was Uni's information, that would be, oh my God, you're doxing me. Oh my God, they doxed me.
So Betty and JLR are very panicked about this whole PO thing. So I really shouldn't call the PO. I'm not going to call the PO, Betty. I'm not.
Oh, so now he's not calling the PO. Gotcha.
seeing how this is obviously extremely could affect both you and JLR, as you're lying about it so viciously here. I'm going to have my lawyer do it.
She told you to go ahead and call. That's what she
Why
said.
wouldn't you just say that? He got off early. I think you're just really scared of that PO getting video evidence because people like to send lots of information. They think they got to type up all this information. You just got to send a couple key videos. That PO needs to click that thing and immediately see what he's doing that is against the law or that's doxing people. You hook them with that. That's what goes first. And they get to see that. And that's what perks their interest. That's when you hit them with the massive proof of doxing. You could take what Molly has said. I don't know how many clips of Molly saying that JLR is looking. How much money you want to bet that the PO has told JLR you don't look up, you do not mess with people's IDs after your prison sentence. Even after you're off parole, you better not mess with people's IDs ever again. Because I know for a fact that's what POs do.
Some might take issue with what he just said because some may see that as encouraging his audience to do specifically as he was saying. Now, if Molly or BHB did that, there would be a major problem. That's the very behavior we speak against.
Who
Or
cares?
how many times has law enforcement been at your house? I mean, there are a lot of things that can be done. Lots of things. Now,
I haven't had law enforcement at my house, so nice try.
that's not my job.
Then why even react to it?
I talked about how I care when it comes to two things, terms of service and his PO, and now I've just had it backed up by paperwork that I was right to consider his PO, and I'm going to keep considering his PO, and then calling me a crybaby. So if you go watch my video where I responded, where I did not have any freakouts, Betty has had like 6 right now, like literally had 6 of them here. I didn't yell and scream. Betty's voice is raised so loud she peaked her audio at least in those 6 freakouts.
Oh, now he's going to consider the PO.
He has lied over. She said I was crying and all this stuff, so she gets 2 more. You've lied over 35 times. Now, these are the hard lies. If I was to literally take every lie, you'd probably have triple this amount.
Oh, so now there's hard and soft lies, too. Gotcha.
It's a hard dox life for uni. It's a hard dox life for uni.
So I would say that you are projecting what you feel onto me because none of the things you're saying is true about me. So you can lie all you want, Betty. You're under this assumption that when you lie about my background, that it somehow makes me fear or something. I don't have a background. My background I talked about was like a normal background, not a criminal one.
Then shut the fuck up about it. No one cares, Uni. No one cares. The reason why we poke at it is because you react to it every time. Nobody cares if you do have a past. It's because of how much you jump and squirm when it gets mentioned. You having a past is irrelevant because at current time, you're a liar.
You want to talk about cops showing up and all this stuff. Nope, wrong guy. There's too many Jason Smiths. I don't know how you don't realize this by now. Not true.
The shakiness in your voice sounds true.
And you came at me. You say that you came at me, right? But you didn't. You came at a bunch of innocent people. That's who you came at. You doxed them. You went into their names and you dug on their names to gain information that is private about them. You used the medium of PayPal to transmit the private information of non-public figures, of regular citizens to someone in order to threaten that person because that person said things that hurt your fee-fees.
I think at this point, he's trying to convince himself of his lies.
So I don't know how I can own you any more than I already have. This is an ultimate ownage.
I'll be honest. A lot of y'all can't stand listening to Molly, but Uni kind of does that to me at this point because I'm 40 years old and this man is older than me. And he literally just said, I owned you. That's ultimate ownage. We are in our 40s and he is speaking like this. And you wonder why people ask questions. But what has my life become that I'm sitting here responding to this type of bullshit on social media? Where have we gotten to in a society that we overlook so much of what's right in front of us because we're too busy? Things like this slip by because everybody's living their lives and we're too busy until you start noticing it. And then you're like, oh my God. Once that mask slipped, it fell hard.
No, seriously, Navy, rate it on a 0 to 10 and be honest with me if I'm not completely owning this wench. How much am I owning her?
Think about that statement, ladies. How much am I owning this wench? And then he giggles. You'd have a hard time convincing me that he's not a misogynist.
So look, see, everything I'm saying is backed up right here and on the other channels that you pretend like you don't know about, okay? Everything is right here. Yeah, if I were you, I'd be mad at me too.
Hours and hours and hours of useless circle talk. Think about how many things we actually were told or we thought we were told, and we really weren't.
Yep. If I were you, I'd be mad too. Because this is all facts. And those are some long-ass streams of facts and evidence right there.
There's so many things I notice now that I never saw before.
You know, I don't know why people watch me.
One thing we can 100% agree on.
I'm a little bit of a doofus. But I think they do because as much as we drone on, we do it for a reason.
Oh, of course. There's a reason for the madness.
We do it because of your lies. If I was to come in and do a 30-minute stream and try to respond to you in 30 minutes, I would leave so many holes for you to lie on me. I would leave so many opportunities for you to continue with lies. But when I've completely decimated every word that comes out of your mouth with logic, facts, and evidence and response, and you weasel away from that, it shows not just my audience, but your audience and you that you're lying and you're wrong.
It is important to make sure that you include context in content you are providing, but he goes overboard and ends up circle talking and inflating things that he ends up contradicting himself within the same sentence. And that happens very often.
Get up in here, Betsy. Go get up in here, Betsy Boo. Where's the lie? Go grab it. Go clip it. Take it to your channel. Come at me. Come at me, Betsy Boo Boo. Because look at all that. Look at all those lies. And you can't pull one of them? Look at all that content, because those are all hours and hours and hours.
One thing he has down pat is the cringe factor.
And you want me to help you out? Oh, I'll even help you, girlfriend. I'll help you out, girlfriend. You go right here.
And you think she has a crush on you.
Now, I tell you to do that because when you sit at a computer like we do, and I've been sitting at a computer since I was like 8 years old or 6 years old.
Oh my God, I absolutely cannot with him.
So funny because the whole world can see that you attack people endlessly.
Okay, so it is funny. I'm hilarious, but you're lying. I don't attack people endlessly. Criticism is not an attack because criticism is talking directly about what you did. It is addressing facts.
This guy thinks he's funny. That's the funny part right there, is you thinking you're funny.
If I was to lie about the facts, about the history, about what really happened, you would be able to make an argument that it is an attack. But if I'm showing the truth, if I'm speaking logic that actually matches that truth, you can't call it an attack without lying, and that's why you get a lie on the lie-o-meter now.
Attack has been one of his favorite words recently.
I'm gonna help you, because you can go through my content again, and you can actually back up what you're saying, and I'm challenging you to do it. So when you don't do it, right, just be able to wear it on your sleeve that you know how much of a pathological lying narco that you are. I challenge your ass to show my lies. Show my attacks. Go show where I've attacked somebody. You just said it's all I do. All I do out of all that content is attacking people? Really? Well, then it would be extremely simple to click any of these attack fests, as you define them, and to pull the clips. I give you full permission. I will not come after you for copyright. I give you full permission right here. If I did try to come at you, you'd win because I'm giving you full permission to go through all of this live, show any of this that you want, the entirety of the damn channel, and show on your live stream where I've attacked anybody, because anything you show, I'm going to prove that it's true.
You weren't challenging me, but I took you up on it.
Go ahead. Make my day. Go ahead and make my day, Uni-rock. When's the last time I heard that one? Nick, if you're around, buddy, get on in here, bro.
Run as fast as you can.
This has been an excellent stream.
I think my excellent meter must be broken because that's not what I rated this stream.
You look nice. I like that you dressed up, right? You see me as this evil character. See, this is the thing about evil characters, right? When you prove somebody an evil character, then you can correct them because they have a victim. They have someone they're targeting.
Are you trying to flirt with BHB?
See, it makes what I'm doing valid. It doesn't make it heroic. It doesn't make me special. It makes what I'm doing something anyone else can do. It makes it valid. But because you're not being honest about me, you're lying. Every lie you tell weighs on you.
Things that didn't age well apart. I don't even know. I lost count.
Do I have to curse you here? Is this going to curse you? Is that what it's going to do? Is it going to, like, since I'm the first person that's ever explained this to you, are you finally going to get a conscience?
I got the magic touch.
You want to act like, do you have some, I mean, you talk about believing in God. How do you not realize that the conscience you have is not a fake thing? Even if you don't believe in God. The only reason I'm saying that is because she constantly talks about God. But if, let's say she was an atheist, it still is built into us due to social structure from the atheist perspective over hundreds of thousands of years, that when we lie on somebody, we feel it because it can get us, ousted from society. It can harm us. And so we've developed instincts to feel guilty when we lie to help us exist and survive by the atheist perspective. By the God perspective, I could go on for hours. I won't. I'm just saying. That's why you're always so angry. It's why you always get so triggered. It's because you have a lying problem.
I can tell you've been practicing the faith manipulation.
So just stop. I'll make a deal with you. You're so mad about me talking about you. We'll drop it all right now. You never tragedy pimp, lie, or dox anyone again. Go live and apologize for it and say you'll never do it again, and we're done with you.
This fool out here acted like he's brokering deals.
Did someone dono to me? Oh, I won't, but thank you very much. You know who you are. I didn't even ask. I've been too, trying to get done with this because I don't really think this is good content. It is kind of funny.
There's really nothing funny about this. It's painful.
That I want to get done with it. I haven't even been sharing my pay link. Mods, do you mind doing it for me? Because I should be doing it.
Yeah, I'll drop it again.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, it's so exhausting. Can you do it for him?
Let me go ahead and put my screen up because I need to remove a transaction ID from this before I show it. You're about to be blown to smithereens, girl. What was her name? Betsy? You about to be blown to smithereens, Betsy Boo Boo. Oh no, Betsy Boo Boo. Oh no, Betsy Boo Boo getting blown to smithereens right now by Uni.
Wow, he finally figured out how to show one thing.
Last time, let me do this. I'm going to take out the email. This is how I know for a fact it came from her. By the way, she's already admitted she sent this. This is on the date and time that she sent it. She admitted that this is her. This is her. And this is an immediate refund. From the moment it came in, I immediately clicked it and I immediately refunded it. Here you go. You liar. You liar.
Wow, he was actually able to show something.
You sent it to me with your PayPal balance, $1. I immediately refunded it with this transaction ID. I immediately typed refunding due to doxing, harassment, and also to create record for police report and restraining order. You got this. You read this. I know this for a fact. You are lying on me, and this is why. Not only me proving this lie like this is also proof to back up the other lies I showed.
So since you know how easy that was, why haven't you done that with both the messages that you got from JLR and BHB? Because that would have solved a lot of the problem right from the start. Because your story has changed about what the contents of the message was multiple times. Such as at first it was for an interview, and then no, they weren't asking for an interview, which all along the purpose was intimidation. And shitty, absolutely, but it worked.
I never pull these. I never do this to anybody. But because she will not stop lying on me, this is immediate refund to her. And this is what I wrote. Now, I told you about this in that last stream where I didn't show my face because I didn't have a shirt on.
Okay, cool. She's a liar, a known liar, Uni. But you see how easy it would have been for you to provide proof of the other stuff right from the start?
I just completely fucking annihilated her squirrely ass.
Has this become like a video game to you?
What do you got to say now? You see, I know you got some of your trolls in here right now. Aren't you really mad that you sent them over? Because they just saw where you've majorly lied this whole time, but I just completely decimated you. You can't get out of this one. You have been putting on an act. It's not even that you lied. You intentionally lied to the people watching you. You didn't lie to my audience. You lied to yours.
Put this into context. That clip of BHB was 10 minutes. Think about how many hours Uni has gone on and on about this situation over the last month. Sincerely, someone who doesn't like either one of them.
because you don't respect them. I'm telling the truth to my audience because I want to respect them. Do I always respect them? I just try because this is a new ground. If I would lie to you, I would disrespect you.
Those are like backhanded slaps, Uni.
And I say that to give respect to people like Heels who have criticized me, or Nonsense, or anyone that's criticized me.
You have zero respect for anyone.
Because I meant what I said. You can criticize me. I won't invalidate your criticism. I will attempt to take it into, if I can't debunk it or go against it or respond to it in some way, which I've tried in small ways, I will take it into account. I will listen to it, and I've tried. I'm not
We saw how that's gone anytime somebody has.
good at it. I'm not perfect, but I try, okay? And that's why I say that. You, on the other hand, are a liar. That's why you don't like me. You think you can bully me.
When you can't listen to criticism and you instantly take it to a personal vendetta and try to destroy somebody's credibility based off of lies, it becomes a whole different ballgame, Uni. And I've been extremely kind to you, considering.
I've had bullies come at me. You wouldn't even know what to do. You wouldn't even stand against them.
It's interesting to listen to you peacock.
You have not experienced anything like I've experienced, and I don't even whine about it. I don't even make myself a victim.
Coming from the chronic victim.
I didn't go live, Betsy, to whine or cry like you're trying to convince people. I did it because the only way to stop bullies like you is to blast the truth to the masses. And as corny as it sounds, it's actually true. You can't stop this train. It's never going to stop rolling. I'll give you an out. I've given you several outs. I always give an out. Because if you were to actually take my out, and I wasn't to give it to you, you could prove me a liar finally. Here's my out. You never tragedy pimp again. You apologize for your lies and doxings, make them right, and you never dox again.
Just remember, he did 4 live streams in the first 24 hours after that PayPal, taking every opportunity to lie on the liars.
You just do your normal content without attacking people, without doing all these things that you do. It's simple. You don't even have, it would only take 30 minutes of a stream for you to correct the shit you've done. And then you would be free to go do whatever you fucking want. But don't think I'm bullshitting. I don't lie like you.
Crazy how you could have taken that same exact out.
Every dox, not just the one you did to my family and myself. You and JLR is going in front of YouTube, and for JLR, it's going to that PO. Okay? Reason why you're so mad is because you know I'm telling the truth.
When he tries to sound intimidating, but fails so badly.
Call me a liar while your behavior and choices and words prove that you know I'm telling the truth.
You're breaking Bullhorn Betty's account over here, buddy. I want my dollar back, okay? You either send it to him or refund it.
Okay,
You
I
see,
just want to say
you
something
see
real
this?
fast.
Do you see this?
Yeah. You know why she wants that dollar back, right? Is because whenever she goes out and stays at the Wish version of Motel 6, she needs that dollar to go to the candy machine to buy dinner. And she really needs that dollar back.
Okay, so I did a poll to find out how many of Betty's trolls are watching, okay? So let's do this. Let's break it down. Has JLR's PO seen proof of him trespassing? There are many recent proof of doxes. Now, well, wait, never mind. I did the wrong fucking vote. Now I fucked my vote. But anyway, 66% of you say no, but 33% of you think that this PO has. So there might be something I don't know about the PO. So anyway, I meant to do another poll after that one, and I didn't do it, and I thought I did because I got distracted. Never mind. I usually put a poll up that I know you guys that watch me are going to click one thing, and then her trolls are going to click another so that I can see the percentage of trolls, but that wasn't that poll. I messed up.
Oh, he's the great troll hunter also.
Those other lies, some of the people watching, especially BHB fans that might be in here watching, they're going to not really register lies that aren't completely proven. Like if I'm sitting here saying, oh, you're lying because of this, they're not going to register that unless they go watch the last video or whatever I'm referencing.
Sure, Jan.
I just, though, pulled that factual evidence that everything she said about me refunding her money or about the dollar, which has been at least 12 times that I've counted, if not more by now, is showing you how far she goes to lie to her audience. That's how much she disrespects the audience.
Uni, can you get to the point? We've been here long enough.
She will wield that audience, use that audience for money. She'll use that audience to attack people that she doesn't like or that refuse her interviews. And she'll wield you to go after her criticizers when they're telling the truth about her. Because, of course, she is a coward.
A coward calling a coward a coward. Interesting.
And she knows if she does anything that she does herself is going to backfire on her, like her threats against me and nonsense.
There he goes, putting me in a bunch of shit again.
And she's putting up against a wall. Because there are people out there that she's threatened in the past that have made videos or that have gone out and said something somewhere and they didn't have a reach.
Oh, little old me over here doesn't have the reach that the wonderful, amazing Uni has. Again, I don't care about all the numbers and stuff like that, but he sure as hell sings a different tune while he's using your content to create content off of for months and months. Then it's, oh, I respect the person, but as soon as you criticize him, that definitely changes. Then you don't have the reach as great as Uni. Well, actually, he was kind of like this all along. He's very demeaning.
No, she now has to go back live and she has to correct the record. She has to. She can't say, she has said many times that she doesn't lie. She has said many times, well, I know she has a few things where she mentions that she lies sometimes. I've seen it, but
I wonder if you wish you would have done that yourself.
most of the time she'll say that she doesn't lie and all that. No, unless you correct this, you have easily proven, like this is super easy to prove lies. These are like YouTube or originating lies here.
Now we did it.
YouTube originating lies?
The way things are going, it's only a matter of time before somebody gets hurt. Very true, because what they're doing is they're going to end up getting somebody who responds to their doxing in a way that my family won't. My family will do it the appropriate way. In fact, one of the people that they are doing this to is required by law to report what they're doing because of where they work and what they do.
Again, a reminder, this was previous to Lettergate. This was back on April 23rd, before Lettergate ever happened.
So they've really screwed themselves in that respect. Like Uni or not, it's not okay. It's still doxing. How can we keep allowing this to happen? We can't. We need to keep tagging Team YouTube. I'm not going to do it today. It's a Sunday. I'm going to do it strategically. I'm going to do it when we need to.
What? We can't report on the Lord's Day now?
Thank you to all of the the Bullhorn Betty subscribers that have written out to me in the last couple days. Thank you to all of the JLR supporters that have abandoned these two and written to me to let me know that they disagree with what they did and that you're not going to support them anymore because of them doing this. And I think that shows that you shouldn't feel bad that you supported and followed somebody because they were lying.
I 100% call bullshit on that.
The reason these people are full of lies, the reason that they constantly lie, is because they have to. It's every subscriber on JLR and Betty and every serial clickbaiter, every serial tragedy pimp, every scammer on the platform. Every sub is a lie they've told.
The audacity of this man to call somebody else a serial clickbaiter.
If you would have built your channels by proving to everybody through your content, the only thing that they have, we aren't doxers. We don't take the internet seriously. We don't get obsessed over people like you do.
How long have you been fighting with some of these people out here for, Uni?
That's your problem. And when we look at you, we're going to say to ourselves, it is your job, Betty, to make content that will show me what you are to the extent of what you're doing, right? You don't got to jump through hoops. All you got to do is do enough work in your content that proves that you aren't the person that you are so regrettable about being.
He's getting tired. His circles are starting to look like figure eights.
All I can say is I am cringy. I am cringy because I have to go basic when I deal with someone that doxes me like they've tried to, or they lie about me like they've tried to. You have to go basic. What you got to do is basically, respond. And if you're going to respond, if they're going to do a video and respond to it, you're going to have to go through it pretty completely. So
can I get an amen on the cringe factor?
why am I saying it's cringy? Because I shouldn't have to tell you something as simple as what I just said about Betty and JLR. And I shouldn't have to explain how much of a pathological liar she is. I shouldn't have to have a lie counter on my damn screen. Let's get rid of that. I shouldn't have to do any of these things. This is cringy content for me to give you those really, let's call it very obvious things. Those obvious things, they're not great content.
Again, nobody's forcing you to do this.
Any creator like Rotten Whispers, Sarah Snow, and there's a bunch of others. I'll see if I can come in with a list that called out JLR and Betty for doing this to me. I thank you because they did this to family members of mine that for some reason they might have thought they could get some information out of. But
he seems almost salty that a bunch of channels didn't start making videos on this supposed doxing of him. I, in fact, as many of you know, did quite the opposite.
Make sure you're following me at kick.com/Unirock, because if you like my streams, I'm extremely silly over there. I'm extremely dumb over there, and I want to do something special before I leave you guys.
All right, we're almost to the end, but buckle up because the last section is absolutely fantastic. Probably going to be my most favorite part of the entire stream. And this time, I'm not going to leave you with a preview of part 4 because I'm not exactly sure which section I want to go to. If I want to hop right into Lettergate or if I want to explain some of the reason why the attack from Uni became so personally directed at me between the PayPal and the letter. So bear with me because I just haven't quite decided which direction to go. If you have a suggestion in the comments, please leave it below. I'm open to explaining kind of how it turned a little bit personal between me and Uni and why he's so personally angry at me and it's became such a nonsense fest. Or we could just jump to Lettergate. Either way, I'm good with. I have to do both sections, but I can do them in any order. So you guys let me know what you would like to see, and we will move on to part 4. But I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. This is where I'm going to leave you, and you can thank Uni himself for the following laughs. One more thing before I leave. If any of you can locate the point of that stream he did, please let me know. Send a big ol' SOS. My poor brain cells need a break, okay?
Oh my God, I'm trying to get some of you to leave, but there's still like 200 people that are going to watch me do this, and this is embarrassing. Betty tried doxing my family because she's a cringy locale. She's a cringy locale. Betty came after me and she tried to dox my family because she's a locale. A cringy locale. Betty is a locale, Betty is a locale. Fuck you, Betty, Betty is a locale, Betty is a locale. Fuck you, Betty, Betty is a locale, Betty is a locale. Fuck you, Betty. I'm out. Peace. Audi 5000G.
Thank you all for watching part 3. I hope you at least got a couple laughs. But I'm curious, what is your definition of a dox after hearing how many times he's redefined it in the last month? Let me know in the comments below. Have a great night.
I don't need recognition. I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues. I'm in position. I'm staying up. It's getting late. You're doing good. I'm doing great. Recognition. I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues. I'm in position. I'm staying up. It's getting late. You're doing good. I'm doing great. Hours of practice, they don't feel like working. Overthinking, I don't mean to let the pain and hurting. I was main stage with Tiny at a festival. Reality's a cause less than 24 hours pass and I'm back to working. The wage isn't minimum, but when you know your worth is more, you make your own curriculum. Studying the industry, I know you see me killing them. Nice, it felt so real, I had some moments I was living them. Celebrity, civilian, walk amongst the greats that you ignore. The ones relentlessly pursuing every key to every door. It's evergreen and evermore if you're content with living normally. I'm handing in my notice to the world on record formally. I know this life is right for me. I know the future's bright for me. I know my teachers lied to me. I do it for the ones that came before and nearly died for me. Recognition, I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues, I'm in position. I'm staying up, it's getting late. You're doing good, I'm doing great. Recognition, I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues, I'm in position.